the man on the right. Midfield, Ben White continues alongside Yves Bissouma in the centre. Tariq Lamptey on the right. Solly March on the left. No Neil Maupay today for Brighton. So the front three is Pascal Gross, who comes in for him, Leandro Trossard and Adam Lallana. We think Trossard plays through the centre of that three. On the bench, Matt Ryan is there. Also Alexis McAllister, Stephen Alzate, Danny Welbeck, Davy Proper, Andy Zakiri and Bernardo. Graham Scott is our referee. John Moss is the dreaded VAR. With me for this one is your friend of mine. Back with us, Kevin Watson. How are you, mate? You all right?
Yeah, good, Tom. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm reeling a bit from the team news, to be honest. I didn't know a great deal about Robert Sanchez coming in, I'll be honest with you. Luckily I had my trusty pack with me and some previous research done. But Matt Ryan, statistically, he's got the worst save percentage of any goalkeeper in the Premier League this season to have played more than 2 games. So it's worse than Adrian, for example. And yet, during Brighton's time in the top division, he's probably been their best player, I would say. So what do you make to this decision by Potter just to drop him?
Well, he might just need leaving out for a couple of games, get his confidence back. As you say, he's having a little bit of a tough time at the moment, but he's done ever so well for him over the years, hasn't he? He is a very, very good goalkeeper. All players, goalkeepers, centre-forwards, wingers, at some point during their career, they'll go through a little bit of a iffy spell, if you like, and he's probably just having one of those at the moment. I would imagine Potter's taken him to the side, explained his decision, and I wouldn't see it being a long-term thing.
Of course, we had Jordan Pickford dropped earlier today for Everton as well, so it does seem to be the day for it. Changes in goal. For Tottenham Hotspur, let's talk about Dele Alli, who's not here. It has been a big story in the English press in the last few weeks. No future at Tottenham Hotspur, hooked at half-time in Antwerp, along with several other players. Poor performance for Tottenham. What do you make to Dele Alli just being bombed out of the Spurs squad by Mourinho?
Well, he needs to move on. He needs to move on, whether that's as a loan move or indeed a permanent move. But you know, he's had a tough time, Dele Alli, for a long time now, and he's been a shadow of his former self. When you used to think that himself and Harry Kane were formidable, you know, Dele running off of Kane and making third man runs and getting little knockdowns from him. But that's all changed. He's found himself out of the team, and not only that, out of the squad.
Yeah.
Dragged at half time the other night is probably the straw that broke the camel's back, I think, for him.
Those are the players that aren't here that are causing some headlines. What about those that are? Up front for Tottenham Hotspur, the form of Harry Kane and Heung-min Son individually and collectively been astonishing at the start of this season. If Kane and Son combine for another goal, it'll be their 10th Premier League combination this season, which would be a Tottenham Hotspur record in the Premier League, and we're still in the opening weeks of this campaign. What's happened with this pairing, and why has it become so red hot at the start of this season?
Well, you nearly all through time, you've always had players that enjoy playing with other players on a football pitch, and they get, you know, really good relationships going. I can't think of right off the top of my head.
Sheringham, Shearer and Sutton.
Yeah, there you go.
Di Canio and Canute, some would say. Not just me, but somewhat.
Yeah, York and Cole. There's always relationships, and it's normally always with forwards. But these two seem to know each other's game off by heart at the moment, and they've really been scintillating, and I think Harry Kane is playing as well. I was quite critical of him when he first came back from a hamstring injury, and he looked quite lethargic in most games, restart, etc. But he's playing as well as I've ever seen him, and there's more to him than just a centre forward that scores goals as well.
But his goal scoring record, I was actually looking at this earlier today, obviously preparing for the game, and his records, there's so many of them. 148 Premier League goals since debut in August 2012, so a brace tonight puts him to 150. 45 goals in his last 50 Premier League away starts since May 2017. He scored more away than at home in that time. And at the moment, of course, there isn't really home and away because you don't have that advantage from supporters. And yet, he has adapted his game, right? He's not the kind of lead the line, work the channel number 9 that maybe Mourinho's always had, you know, a la Didier Drogba. Often he's now so much deeper than Heung-min Son. What do you make to the evolution of Harry Kane?
Well, I'm pretty sure that he's taken that on himself. He wants to get involved in the game more. He likes getting involved in the build-up. And I'm pretty sure you'd agree, Tom. His passing range is absolutely fantastic, and his ability to pick passes, and more often than not, the right passes. It's almost like what Wayne Rooney did later on in his career. He started as a centre forward, wanted to run off people, just wanted to run behind, and then he got deeper. Harry Kane's obviously started to do that a little bit younger than Wayne was at the time, but I think he's a joy to watch. Terrific footballer.
Jose Mourinho has been playing down the Tottenham for the title story. We've been talking about it here on Premier League Live, and our partners certainly have been discussing Tottenham's chances. At home they have struggled. They should have beaten West Ham, they should have beaten Newcastle, just got points in both of those games, but it's been a pretty decent start overall. Victory today will put them up to second in the table, behind Liverpool after 7 games. How about it, Tottenham as champions?
Well, the way things have gone this season so far, with teams are beating each other. It's only Liverpool again last night against your boys, Tom. They just, they grind out results when they're not playing well. But in terms of the rest of them, Villa and Everton both started really well. They've had a couple of poor results of late.
Today.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? The monotony, Liverpool, Manchester City, will it be broken this year? It quite easily could be. Yeah.
Liverpool top of the table right now. Interestingly, with the worst defensive record of any team in the league. It has been that kind of campaign. And just finally on Brighton before we move on, and we'll talk about the other results from Sunday. Just the one victory this season. That was the game against Newcastle, that big 3-0 win, which was their third or second game of the season. Since then, it has been a struggle. Low level of performance against Everton. Poor game against Crystal Palace. Struggle to create anything against West Bromwich Albion. They tell me that he's building something here, Graham Potter, but every time I watch them, they seem to be in a completely different formation, trying to do a completely different thing. Does he have a style, Graham Potter?
Well, his style is pass, and then pass again. It baffles me, really, because when they played the Manchester Cities of this world, and they're still trying to split on the 6-yard box for goal kicks and play out, and I've seen him get caught so many times, but he won't change. He won't change. But when they played Newcastle, I thought they were outstanding. Now, was that because Newcastle were very poor on the day, which they were, or that Brighton were outstanding, which they were? But they're not consistent. And I feel tonight, if they try and play that way and split and try and pass, Tottenham will set a trap and just go and take it off them and score goals. Really
looking forward to our 4th game on this Premier League Sunday. It comes from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where Tottenham are up against Brighton. We're a good 20 minutes or so away from kickoff. When we come back, we will reflect on Sunday's action, which has been incredible so far. Southampton victorious at Villa, Newcastle beating Everton, and we just heard Joe Shannon and Paul Parker bring you Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1. So we'll talk about those games when we come back. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Talk Sport.
Impress Lost Tribes people of the Andes by demonstrating the new updated Talk Sport app. Listen live, listen again, and listen good, Buster. Download the app at talksport.com now. The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on Talk Sport.
Hello, I'm Andy Goldstein, and of course you can hear me on the Sports Bar with Jason Cundy. We'll be taking all your calls, text, tweets and emails on all the big talking points from the weekend's football. And remember, we bring you the very first look at the next day's back page headlines every single night.
The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on Talk Sport.
Talk Sport.
Catch up and listen up without having to cough up. It's free. Go to talksport.com and download the app today. Or don't. Your choice entirely.
Hello, Jim White here. Now, if you're wondering about all the background hullabaloo, I'm helping out as lifeguard at the brand new Talk Sport swimming pool. Golf! No running there, boy! But never mind that. Join me tomorrow morning from 10 when I'll be up to my neck in the warm, chlorinated waters of the day's biggest sports stories. Come plunge with me, Jim White, straight in at the deep end of the action.
Weekday mornings from 10 on Talk Sport.
Driving home with Darren Goff and Doug, a sporting legend and an angry sports journalist who'll pick a fight with anyone.
Just really winds me up. Absolutely unbelievable.
To say I'm angry is an understatement.
Adrian Durham, what an absolute clown.
Dynamic, double-strength drive time radio.
Shall I stay?
I don't like listening to him. I'll turn off.
Do you want me to stay?
Adrian Durham and Darren Goff.
He's an idiot.
Right, hands up, who wants me to stay?
Drive time radio.
I don't have to.
Weekdays from 4, only on Talk Sport.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs on Sport. Talk Sport. It's the double-O duo on the radio show that's like a collapsible bridge over a shark-infested pool of big names, sporting headlines, and topical debate. Join Paul Alligator Hopscotch Hawksbee and Andy Oddjob Jacobs, flying the plane of sporting entertainment out of the horse's bum of conventional radio.
Have we got pussy galore on the show, Andy?
No, Paul, but we've got Todd Macklin's American Sports Roundup. Will that do?
Not really, Andy, no.
Hawksbee and Jacobs, shaken but not stirred. Weekday afternoons from 1 on Talk Sport.
Talk Sport.
Talk Sport.
Confuse bookmakers, impress football agents, and entertain the kids with the improved Talk Sport app. Totally fun, totally free, totally football. Download it now from TalkSport.com.
Hey, kids, take my mobile and go over there and play or something. Don't press the button that says Tinder.
Talk Sport.
You're with Premier League Live, our fourth Premier League game of this Sunday of action from England's top flight. It comes from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's Spurs against Brighton. Headlines from the team news: 9 changes for Spurs from Antwerp, 2 from their last Premier League game. The headline up front is that Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, Lamela are the front 3. Gareth Bale drops back down to the bench. Dele Alli not in the squad. For Brighton, Robert Sanchez comes in for a debut in goal, replacing the Australian number 1 goalkeeper Matt Ryan, who drops down to the bench. No Neil Maupay as well for Brighton. I'm Tom Rennie. Kevin Watson is with me. This is the 4th of 4 games on this Premier League Sunday. Big stories in the other 3.
Here's Ward-Prowse. Right-footed delivery and the header is in! Yannick Vestergaard! Long run up from Ward-Prowse. And he's curled it over the wall and in!
Gosh.
The birthday boy doubles the lead for Southampton. Here is Ward-Prowse. Right-footed again! And he's done it again! The same corner and the same outcome. Here is Danny Ings. Shoots right-footed and he finds the corner. That is a blockbuster from Danny Ings. Grealish dribbling into the box and scooping the cross in for Tyrone Mings, and Aston Villa have got one back. Watkins with the short run up and right footed into the corner. It's an excellent penalty. Aston Villa 2, Southampton 4. The last chance surely for Villa. Grealish is shot, he scores, squeezes it in at the far post. The goalkeeper McCarthy rooted to the spot.
Hands back, up to the football he goes. Olsen goes the wrong way and it goes just to the left of centre. Callum Wilson puts Newcastle in front. Fraser's got him behind Mina, he's into the box. Mina's got the wrong side, a good bit of work right across the face of goal. It's 2-0. Callum Wilson with his second goal. Ball in, Calvert-Lewin touches it past Darlow, it's 2-1.
Finds Berry, further forward in the area. Was he caught by Pogba? That's got to be a penalty. It is. 20 minutes to go to give Arsenal the lead. Right-footed, scores! Aubameyang sends the hair the wrong way.
Yeah, so those results from today: Aston Villa 3, Southampton 4. A wonderful commentary from Jason Dodd and Alex Crook earlier today. I'm sure that put Southampton legend Jason Dodd through the ringer late on with that Jack Grealish goal. But the Saints got all 3 points. They're up in 3rd. Newcastle 2, Everton 1. Callum Wilson with both goals for the Magpies. And just before this, Arsenal winning at Manchester United, their first away win against the Red Devils since 2006. It was watched for us by Joe Shannon, who could put some meat on the bones of that game for us now.
Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1. Arsenal's first win at United in the Premier League for more than 14 years, but United's domestic season has already been plunged into an early crisis. This their third league defeat from the first 4 games of the campaign at Old Trafford, and the first time they've failed to win any of their first 4 home league matches of the campaign since 1972-1973. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's penalty just over 20 minutes from time was the difference, given away yet again by Paul Pogba, who clumsily fouled Hector Bellerin. Arsenal were diligent and well organised, with Rob Holding, Gabriel and Thomas Partey particularly impressive. The Gunners hit the bar through Willian, while United's best effort came when Mohamed El Neni's slice clearance hit his own goalkeeper before rebounding off the Arsenal post. A big win for Mikel Arteta, but desperate disappointment on his 100th game in charge for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It finishes Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1.
Joe Shannon there, who was our commentator for that game. Kevin Watson alongside me, Tom Rennie. Kev, incredible really, Manchester United. They're so difficult to assess, aren't they? You watch them against Chelsea. They were probably the better side, but couldn't get the win. They thrash RB Leipzig for 5 in the week, and today, lacklustre against Arsenal and defeated at home. Kev, after the opening 6 games of the season, Manchester United in 15th place in the table, below the likes of West Ham, Crystal Palace, Leeds, Newcastle, nowhere near the top 4 race. I know it's early, but that's a really bad start.
Yeah, nowhere near the top 4 race, and also, in my opinion, nowhere near the standard needed of a Manchester United football team. They've been really, really Jekyll and Hyde. I managed to watch the first half of the game this evening, and Arsenal completely and utterly outplayed them and outthought them, which is obviously fair play to Mikel Arteta. But they need to be so much better than what they are at the moment.
The start has been absolutely dreadful for United, no doubt about that. 7 points from their 6 Premier League games this season, their lowest tally at this stage since David Moyes was in charge back in 2013. They had 7 points then as well at this stage. They finished 7th that season. Maybe that would be considered a success for Solskjaer, I don't know. Are you surprised that there's still so much support for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer amongst not just the Manchester United fans, but also the hierarchy at the club?
Yeah, I don't think that support can last an awful lot longer, if I'm being perfectly honest. His legendary status at the club has bought him more time than most would have got. However, everybody has a sell-by date, and he would appear to be getting near that sell-by date if things don't improve.
On Arsenal, we should mention them. I mean, they have this away at the top 6 tactic down, don't they? They keep getting the big scalps, playing in this incredibly organised, quite defensive way under Mikel Arteta, but, you know, in the last, let's say 20 games, they've beaten almost everyone, beaten Liverpool, beaten City, and now beaten United.
Yeah, as I say, I watched the first half, and I like the way he set his team up this evening. It wasn't just to sit back, if you like. They got after Manchester United from the very first whistle. Now, whether they thought, that United would be buoyed by their big win in midweek against Leipzig, and that they'd want to play out, and if you give them too much time, that they'd enjoy the football and hurt Arsenal. But what he done, he set them up to get after them from the very, very start, and it basically stayed that way for the whole game.
We'll look to get some reaction from Old Trafford at half-time of our game. Very interested to hear what both Mikel Arteta and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer have had to say. We'll also look back further on Aston Villa 3, Southampton 4 and Newcastle 2, Everton 1 later in the show. Now, though, we refocus on our game, which kicks off in just under 10 minutes from now. It's Tottenham Hotspur against Brighton and Hove Albion. Let's hear from the two bosses before kick-off, Jose Mourinho and Graham Potter.
I'm going to make some changes in relation to the last match, but that doesn't mean that my team is not as strong as it was, because I don't change because of I think Europa League is not important.
As I've said before, the Premier League is such that you've got to have a little bit on your side in terms of a bit of luck, a bit of the margins go your way, and they didn't quite against Crystal Palace. I thought the performance against Crystal Palace was worthy of more than a point, but we didn't get it. And then against West Brom, I thought we played really well first half, created some really good chances, only scored one.
It hurts me. Sometimes players, they make our choices easy when they don't work hard, when they give up, when they don't keep the level of intensity, commitment, desire that we expect. They make our life easier sometimes. And these boys, all of them, they are making my life easy in a way of I have everybody available and in conditions to play.
That's Instagram star and occasional manager Jose Mourinho, also Graham Potter, the Brighton manager. Kevin Watson, former Tottenham player, with me. What happened in Antwerp in midweek for Spurs?
Well, they were just simply, completely and utterly off of it, weren't they? It didn't help when he had to drag 3 players off at half-time, obviously Dele Alli being one of them that we've already mentioned. I think Gareth Bale is still miles and miles off starting a Premier League game, and that's just my opinion from what I've seen so far in his 4 appearances. I think he started 2. I don't think Jose will be rushing to get him in the side, that's for sure, the way he's performed. And it was just an off night for them, but they were incredibly poor. And when he says players are making it easy for him, I think he's talking about the ones that he's finding it easy to leave out at the moment.
One final question before we go to kick-off on Brighton. I'm just hearing from some of our touchline sources here that Neil Maupay is not injured, he's just not involved this evening. Now, there's many connotations to that, but interesting, because I was expecting him tonight. I've not got him down on my injured list. That's a massive blow for Brighton, him not being here, isn't it?
Oh, huge.
Can't be selection, can it? It's got to be. I'm assuming it may well be a positive COVID test or something.
Yeah, but it has to be.
Pure speculation, I should say. I don't know.
It has to be, because if he's fit, he plays in this Brighton team. So if he's not injured, it's got to be something else, because you wouldn't leave him out. No. That's for sure.
Players just joining us on the field as we are 5 minutes away from kick-off. Tottenham Hotspur targeting their first Premier League home win of the season at the 4th attempt. Brighton looking for a first victory in 5 matches. Kick-off is up next. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Evenings with James Whale on Talk Radio. Keep connected with round-the-clock news, essential information and expert insight.
I think we've got to be very careful about the way this has all been going on.
Cutting through the confusion with everything you need to stay safe, informed and entertained.
Everyone's going on about, we should be tracking and testing, and I just don't know how that is going to happen.
Evenings with James Whale. Weeknights from 7 on Talk Radio.
In a world of 24/7 global sportscasting and instant news infotainment, one man bestrides the airwaves like a snow-capped Caledonian colossus.
Hello, I'm Jim White.
Jim White, anchorman.
Mid-morning news team, assemble.
Jim White and Natalie Sawyer, the #1 rated news source for breaking sports stories, big-name guests, and liquid showbiz charisma.
Great Odin's Raven. That's quite a transfer.
There's nothing burgundy about Jim White. Tomorrow morning from 10 on TalkSport.
In the spring of the year 2020 AD, a deadly enemy rages like a torrent of fire between the ends of empire.
My name is Maximus Talksportus Pandemicus, gladiator of the sports radio. Gird up your loins and battle the invasion of COVID-19, because what you do today will echo in eternity.
TalkSport Legion, assume tortoise formation against COVID-19.
Show this virus no mercy by keeping a distance of at least 2 meters at all times. That's 6.75 Roman feet centurions. Together, Legion, TalkSportus can defeat it.
TalkSportus Maximus.
On my signal, unleash hand sanitizer.
Keep it on, stay informed, and give coronavirus the red cardus.
Are you not hand sanitized?
20 years of TalkSport.
Gentlemen, good evening.
There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Accrington Stanley 4, Titanium Plasmatronic Death Droids from the Future, 0.
Excess.
I wasn't getting up, I was just getting in.
Excitement.
Excuse me,
and extremely strong opinions.
I spend my life covering the big game at the big level.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of TalkSport.
For all the latest news, opinions and advice, listen to Talk Radio throughout the day and stay informed as events unfold.
We're now in a position to start implementing the next part of our plan.
Find out what's happening now and what may happen next, all day, every day.
If the government gets to grips with the plan, then surely we will be able to see light at the end of the tunnel.
Listen now on DAB Digital Radio, online, via the Talk Radio app, or ask your smart speaker to play Talk Radio.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Tottenham Hotspur against Brighton Hove Albion from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I'm your host Tom Rennie. Alongside me for this one is the former Tottenham and Reading midfielder Kevin Watson. This is Premier League Live. If Tottenham are to challenge for the Premier League title this season, something Mourinho has said it's too early to suggest, then they'll need to sort their home form out immediately. While Spurs have won all 3 away games, scoring 12 goals, they have yet to win on their own patch, playing poorly against Everton, then getting stung late by Newcastle and West Ham. Brighton are currently 16th in the table, 4 points clear of the bottom 3, having won just once so far this season against Newcastle in September. A loss or draw here will be their worst run of form since before Project Restart, when they didn't win in 10. We have just had a minute's silence here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, as well as a performance of the last post. Remembrance Sunday is coming up in a couple of weeks' time. This is Tottenham's first opportunity in their last home game before that day to pay tribute, and so they have. Remembrance Sunday, a day to commemorate the contribution of British and Commonwealth military and civilian servicemen and women in the 2 world wars and later conflicts. Also, the minute silence was reverent to Nobby Stiles, part of the England team which won the World Cup in 1966, who died this week at the age of 78 after a long illness. A man who went back to Manchester United as a coach. He managed Preston North End, and also, for our Canadian listeners who will know this, he managed the Vancouver Whitecaps in the 1980s as well. So really sad news this week. Another of the great players to have been part of that 1966 World Cup winning squad to have passed away. Kevin Watson is with me. Kev, quick question to you about Nobby Stiles, because it has been such a big thing for English football fans over the past few days. Another of the great legends of our game sadly lost to us.
Yeah, very, very sad. Passing away after a long illness, as you rightly say, but, you know, will be missed. My dad, I always remember, told me he was at that World Cup final, and I believe there's only 4 of the starting 11 still with us, so sad time.
Yeah, and one of 2 players to have won the World Cup and the European Cup. Only 2 players with British passports have ever done it, and that is Nobby Stiles and Sir Bobby Charlton, who sadly today his family confirmed he's suffering with dementia, so our best wishes go to him as well. Right, let's get on with tonight's game, shall we? We've just kicked off here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I'll run you through the 2 teams shortly. We've got an attack here from Brighton down the right-hand side to talk you through first. Chip down the wing towards Trossard, cleared away by Tottenham. Turned forward again by Brighton, into touch from White in midfield, and that's going to be a goal kick to Spurs. So I'll run through the 2 teams for you, starting with Tottenham Hotspur. Hugo Lloris in goal, back 4 of Sergio Reguilon, Eric Dyer, Toby Alderweireld and Matt Doherty. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Sissoko in the centre midfield, with Tanguy and Ndombele in front of them. Heung-min Son, Harry Kane, Eric Lamela are the front 3. On the bench for Spurs, Joe Hart, Harry Winks, Gareth Bale, Joe Rodon, Giovanni Lo Celso, Lucas Moura and Ben Davies. It's 2 changes from last week and 9 from Antwerp in midweek. No space in the squad for Dele Alli. For Brighton, the big story tonight is that Matt Ryan has been dropped down to the bench after poor performances. It's a debut for Robert Sanchez, who's been at the club for a long, long time. Now 23 years of age, signed at 15 out in Spain where he was playing Levante, but has never played for Brighton before, coming in tonight. Huge vote of confidence in him. Back 3, Dan Burn, Joel Veltman, Adam Webster. Ben White in midfield alongside Yves Bissouma, Tariq Lamptey on the right, Solly March on the left. Front 3 is Pascal Gross, Leandro Trossard and Adam Lallana. Neil Maupay is not here, isn't injured, and we are looking into that right now as to why he's not in the matchday squad today. You feel if he was fit, he would at least be on the bench. The bench is Matt Ryan, Alexis McAllister, Stephen Alzate, Danny Welbeck, Davy Propper, Andy Zakiri and Bernardo. Graham Scott is our referee. The VAR is Jonathan Moss. 2 minutes gone here. Tottenham Hotspur in their home strip here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where they've not won in the league this season. White shirts, navy shorts and white socks. They kick from right to left as we look in this first half. Brighton the other way, left to right. Blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks. Coming forward here down the right hand side with Leandro Trossard in the area. Looks to cut it back to Lallana. Finds Sissoko of Tottenham, who look to start the counter. Pressing with Heung-min Son in the centre circle. Looks to return it to Lamela. He does, the lovely diagonal ball. Lamela picks it up in the area, left hand side. Low cross comes in. Kane to the back post. And it's cleared away, smuggled away by Byrne, who went to ground as Harry Kane looked to turn it home.
First reaction of the game there, 3 minutes in. Just feeling each other out at the moment, but great ball from Son into Lamela down this left hand side. Lamela doesn't beat his man, doesn't need to, gets half a yard. Lovely ball in, and it was good defending in the end because Harry Kane was ready to just tap that home.
3.5 minutes gone here. Tottenham 0, Brighton 0 on Premier League Live. Reguilon down the left, trying to pick a pass, turns back to Højbjerg. Behind him is Eric Dyer, playing in the centre of midfield again. Eric Dyer, where it does seem that Jose Mourinho fancies him. Started 5 of 6 Premier League games this season at centre back. Has been in midfield for the majority of his Tottenham career. Højbjerg now, left hand side, finds a forward pass into Winks, who usually keeps Tottenham ticking over in midfield, doesn't he?
He does.
Him and Højbjerg, similar players, aren't they, in that deep lying position, trying to allow Ndombele the freedom to create.
Already you can see Brighton's system. It looks like Lallana is just going to play off of Trossard. He does favour this wing-back system, doesn't he, Graham Potter? I know he does change, but it looks like Trossard, Lallana just behind him, and also Gross as well. But the two wing-backs, March and Lamptey, been really impressed with Tariq Lamptey.
I should clarify, I was doing a joke there because I said Winks when I meant to say another player, but maybe that wasn't clear, so there we go. Here's Sissoko, forward, down the line to Lamela. Lovely touch to Doherty, return to Lamela. Got a fetching blonde Pogba-esque streak in his hair at the moment. And he finds a crossfield pass out left to Reguilon. Short to Ndombele. Here's Dyer, out left to Heung-min Son, running at Lamptey, running at the corner of the penalty area. Right-footed, low into Reguilon, out of his body, tries to shoot, does shoot, on target. Stung the fingertips of Robert Sanchez in goal, who hasn't looked too comfortable in the opening 5 minutes. It's off his hands for a corner kick.
Yeah, good feet, wasn't it, from the left back Reguilon. Really good touch, took him past Webster, and he just shifts it onto his favoured left foot. Good strike. I would have thought Sanchez would have expected to hold that. Yeah, he just better safe than sorry, I guess.
Sanchez with the fingertip away, defending for his team to do here. Heung-min Son's delivery to the near post, headed away. The simple win there from Adam Webster. Lewis Dunk still suspended, by the way, for Brighton. Sent off in that game against Crystal Palace, wasn't he, for that lunge on Gary Cahill late on. And Ndombele round the corner to Heung-min Son. Cross from the left-hand side is away by Webster, who went to ground, captaining Brighton this evening. And it will be another corner to Spurs on the left-hand side. 6.5 minutes gone here, it's 0-0.
It's been a bright start from Tottenham. They love to attack down this left-hand side, whether it's Kane making runs in the channel or Son.
Heung-min Son in the swinging corner from the left-hand side. Away at the near post by Lamptey. Controlled by Reguilon, but he passes straight to Tariq Lamptey, who looks to bring Brighton upfield. Stopped unceremoniously there by Tanguy Ndombele. Professional foul from the Tottenham record signing, and that's our first yellow card of the match. 7 minutes gone.
Well, Ndombele, he won't thank Reguilon for that pass, will he? Because it's cost him a booking, because Lamptey was going to be away, and a really industrial challenge and professional foul, as you say, Tom.
Long clearance upfield there from Brighton, right to left, trying to release someone on that far side. It was rather aimless from Brighton, somewhat unexpected from Brighton, not really their style of play at all. It's gone straight into touch for a throw-in to Spurs, about 10 yards shy of the halfway line. 7.5 minutes gone. Doherty forward, intercepted by Solly March, who's found a new lease of life at left wing back for Brighton. He's played in several positions for them, and this is the one that seems to suit him most. It's into the feet of Pascal Gross, chipped out left to Trossard. No striker for Brighton, so Trossard will need to make something of this. There's nowhere for him to go, and he's robustly challenged by Moussa Sissoko. Spurs clear it upfield, brought down by Byrne, who gives it straight to Højbjerg. Short to Harry Kane, who looks to release Heung-min Son over the top, right to left. Son jumping with Webster. Webster wins. Gross controls, and Brighton retake possession right hand side with Tariq Lamptey. Forward to Lallana, poke to Lamptey, gets the ball out of his body and tried to chase it down there, but straight into touch from Tariq Lamptey. Kevin, you mentioned earlier on you've been impressed by Tariq Lamptey's this season.
Yeah, I think he's been outstanding, and fair play to Graham Potter and Brighton, for taking him from Chelsea's under-23s, where he'd not really been given a sniff. But I'll tell you what, he's had an outstanding start to the season. Very direct in his play, very, very quick as well.
Played in multiple positions as well, hasn't he? Much like Solly March, he's played on the wing, he's played at right back, he's played, as he is tonight, right wing back, and he isn't on loan from Chelsea, as so many players seem to be.
Yeah.
He has gone on a permanent move to Brighton.
Yeah, which is, credit to Brighton, credit to Graham Potter for taking that chance.
Here's Sissoko on the halfway for Tottenham, right-hand side, nudging his way upfield. Back towards Toby Alderweireld. Into Højbjerg in the centre circle. Signed from Southampton in the summer. Finds himself with Spurs behind the Saints in the table at the moment. Another great win for Southampton earlier today. Their 4th win in 7 games at the start of the season. 4 wins and a draw in their last 5 games. Incredible run from Ralph Hasenhuttl, who celebrated the year anniversary last week of the famous 9-goal drubbing at the hands of Leicester. It's Tottenham looking for their first today as Ndombele slips in Heung-min Son down the left-hand side. He's forced wide, crosses towards the back post, away from Brighton's defence. It was Gross with the header, then Lallana was clattered into Harry Kane. That is right on the edge of the penalty area. Could easily have been a penalty. Lallana complains it will be a free kick. That's a ridiculous challenge there from Lallana.
I'm not sure what he's thinking. Initially Son gets in down the left hand side again, lovely little ball stood up to the back post, little bit of a melee. Basuma misses his kick, and then Lallana, he just absolutely piles through the back of Harry Kane, and he's very fortunate Kane wasn't a yard the other way, because that would have been a stonewall penalty.
What on earth was he thinking there, Adam Lallana? That's really, really poor from a Premier League winner last season, and a man who's been at the top level in England for a long, long time now. Really classy footballer, but it was an aberration from him, and this is a real chance for Spurs. 11 minutes gone, the score is 0-0.
The only thing I can think of there, Tom, is that he's just got his eyes firmly fixed on the ball and doesn't see Harry Kane, but it's a ridiculous decision to jump like that anyway.
There's a little delay here because the VAR was checking to see whether the infringement was on the line. On the line is in the area, and it has been turned from free kick to penalty. The VAR, Jonathan Moss, was looking at that for a while there. We were wondering why it was taking so long to give the free kick, and the VAR has said Lallana has fouled Kane on the line or in the area, and a penalty has been given. Kev, we're watching a replay of it now from a really good angle, and that seems like the right decision.
Yes, it does. He was on the line, wasn't he? And the line belongs to the forward, as we all know. So VAR has done its job there.
And it's a penalty for Tottenham Hotspur. 12 minutes gone. Harry Kane steps up from 12 yards to give Spurs the lead. And he does against the debutant goalkeeper Sanchez. Keeper goes one way, Kane goes the other. and that now puts him to 149 goals. Harry Kane has scored. One away from 150. His incredible goal-scoring run continues. That is Premier League goal since debut in August 2012.
Wonderful penalty. I was seeing how it was given away again. Adam Lallana, he must see Harry Kane there. In fact, he's just inside the box by a few inches. So definite penalty. And once Harry Kane steps up, it's the usual technique. Little shuffle. Sends the keeper the wrong way. Wonderful penalty. As soon as he puts it on the spot, you basically know it's going to end up in the goal, don't you? Tottenham 1-0.
Can't afford to give Tottenham Hotspur a chance like that. Harry Kane a chance like that this early in the game. Their most experienced player as well, Lallana, making that error. And I don't feel like Brighton have come here to all-out attack, but they're going to need to now, aren't they, to change the way they've played the opening 13 minutes.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, straight from the start of this game, it just, to me, just seemed very open. I mean, it's a big playing surface here at the new Tottenham Stadium, and I just felt that the game was open, you know, and I still feel that won't be the end of the scoring, because Tottenham, as we know, embarrassment of riches going forward, and when they get it right, they're very, very hard to defend against.
Going into this weekend, they were the leading scorers in the Premier League. They were usurped by Liverpool yesterday, who moved up to 17. That's where Spurs are now. 17 goals scored in the opening 6 and a bit games for Spurs. Incredible going forward. They're defending here as Bissouma, who's found a goal-scoring knack of late, takes a drive from distance. That's cleared. Breaks the Solly March, who crosses, deflected in the air, away by Dyer. Recovered by March on the far side, heads it back towards Veltman. And Brighton will build again from the halfway line. Chip forward, trying to release Trossard from centre to left. Did find some space in between Doherty and Alderweireld, but the pass to him was overhit. That's going to be all the way through to Hugo Lloris, away to our right, decked out in fluorescent orange tonight. First time he's really been asked to do anything by Brighton. 15 minutes gone, it's 1-0 top.
Yeah, they just need to stay in the game at the moment, Brighton. You know, take stock, get a few passes in, have a bit of possession. Don't be out of the game, because we know what Tottenham are like. If you go chasing, they can pick you off and hit you incredibly quickly. So just stay in the game, keep some possession. You haven't got to go chasing it just yet.
Dropped 6 points this season from losing positions, Tottenham. And winning positions as well. They've been somewhat inconsistent, haven't they? Of course, they were winning here against Newcastle in the, 93rd, 94th minute.
That game was one-way traffic, wasn't it?
3-0 up against West Ham in the 81st minute. Only got the draw there, so they won't be that comfortable here, Tottenham.
No, they won't, and that eventually, if you keep doing it, it does play on your mind.
Eric Dyer with a big crossfield diagonal left to right, cleared away by March, recovered by Højbjerg. Looks forward to Ndombele, back to Højbjerg again. Here's Harry Kane from deep, forward to Ndombele. Lamela looks to return it to Kane, chips it forward, hits the chest of Bissouma of Brighton. Seagulls, though, couldn't keep possession. Tottenham retake it in the centre circle with Moussa Sissoko. A lot of solidity, isn't there, about Tottenham's midfield? Yeah. Sissoko and Ndombele and Højbjerg.
Well, Ndombele's a different player for me. He's Project Restart. We've done a few of their games. He looked a stone overweight. He looked lazy. He looked slow. But Mourinho's obviously had a word with him, because he looks a different player now. And I've been really impressed with him since the start of this season.
Harry Kane looks diagonal here. Ball goes into touch. Couldn't find the runner on the right. Brighton goal kick. 17 minutes gone. And Ndombele, £63 million from Lyon at the start of last season. Big money signing of the Pochettino era, his last summer. 90 minutes completed just twice in 27 Premier League appearances for Ndombele, yet to play a full 90 minutes at home since signing for Tottenham Hotspur. Looks sharper now, though, that's for sure.
He does, yeah.
He certainly is preferred to Dele Alli these days. who plays a vaguely similar role in the team, attacking number 10.
I think you or I would be prefer to Dele Alli in Mourinho's eyes at the moment, Tom.
Yeah.
He's really out of favour, isn't he?
We'll wait for the book to see exactly what's gone on there. We do know that Dele Alli is not in the Tottenham squad. And we know Tottenham have a free kick on the halfway line here. Doherty, who's taken the starting berth of Serge Aurier at right back, has won a free kick on the halfway. Eric Dyer in the central defence. Davinson Sanchez has been playing there quite a lot at the start of the season. Scored an own goal here, didn't he, in the game against West Ham. Dyer has had a bit of an injury last couple of games. Crossfield to Reguilon. Brought down, running at Lamptey, edge of the area. Ball in field is away by Brighton. Then Lamptey picks up the loose ball on this right hand side, pokes it through to Lallana. Intercepted by Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, once the youngest ever player to play for Bayern Munich when he was a teenager. And he clips it all the way back to Hugo Lloris.
They just can't get a foothold in the game at the moment, Brighton. It's all Tottenham possession.
Good signing, Højbjerg. I think there were some eyebrows raised when he came in.
Yeah, no, I think so, Tom. I think so. I think Son breaking. I think, like you were mentioning, similar to Harry Winks, I think he's got a little bit more of the defensive side in him and ability to play that holding role in a different way from Harry Winks. He sees danger, he sees midfield runners, and he does get his foot in. And I think that's what, Tottenham haven't had many of those players over the years, have they?
I love how you were briefly distracted there by the ball over the top to Heung-min Son. It came to nothing in the end. Webster was always favourite to get on the end of the bouncing ball and got there before the Tottenham attacker. Breaking play here because Lamptey has been fouled as he looked to bring Brighton upfield, as we get another replay on our monitors of Lallana giving the penalty away. And it really is a momentary aberration from Lallana, because it's not as if Kane is able to bring that down and do something with it. It's a very difficult ball for Kane to make something of.
Yeah.
So there's no real reason for that panic in the way Lallana defended.
None at all. And I'm sure he's a very experienced player who'll be kicking himself at that decision he's made there.
Here's Son, who's won it from Webster and runs towards the penalty area. Heung-min Son tries a shot left to right. Tried a curler in the top corner, but got underneath it. Heung-min Son, and that will be a goal kick to Brighton.
Yeah, poor from Webster. He takes it off him, and you're thinking he's going to run him. Webster's no slouch, stays with him. Son goes inside, gets it onto his right foot. Not the best effort he'll ever have on goal.
Heung-min Son, 10 goals in his last 8 appearances in all competitions. Top scorer in the Premier League going into this weekend with 8 goals. Most of those coming against Southampton in the one game, to be fair. A real threat this season for Tottenham Hotspur, playing more advanced than Harry Kane, who continually looks to set him up. As Bissouma foul on the halfway line here on the left hand side of the field for Brighton, wins them a free kick. Webster forward into the feet of Trossard, who flicks it round the corner straight to Sissoko. Tottenham can break here. Sissoko's pass intercepted by Ben White, who's usually in defence. Played there all season for Leeds United in their title-winning campaign. In midfield tonight alongside Bissouma.
He's got good ability though, he's got good passing range. So, not really a surprise to see him in there. He's not just an all-out defender. He can step in there, and he's got good passing range, as I say. He's comfortable with the football as well.
Yeah, Leeds tried hard, didn't they, to get him to Ellen Road during the summer. Bids of up to £20 million rejected by Brighton, because Graham Potter wanted Ben White in his team and offering the versatility you need to have playing for a Potter side. Here's Pascal Gross on the right hand side for Brighton in Tottenham territory. Pokes it to Lamptey outside, back to White. Diagonal chip right to left, trying to find March, intercepted by Doherty as far as Dan Burn, the big central defender who has played fullback plenty of times for Brighton. Solly March chops in field, entering the final third. Cross field to his fellow wing back Lamptey on the right. approaching the area, cuts back, finds White, space to cross, time to cross, does cross. Trossard's gone down here, screaming for a penalty. He says he was pulled back by Doherty in the penalty area, and this will be checked by the video assistant referee, I am sure. Graham Scott has not given a penalty, and it's being looked at now by John Moss, who's already given one penalty tonight. Kevin Watson, what do you think?
Well, let's have another look at it. That's a penalty. In my opinion, that's a penalty. I don't know what you think, Tom. Doherty's got hold of him.
Well, if you give the penalty in the game between Brighton and Crystal Palace a couple of weeks ago, you have to give this, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, he does go down in instalments, Trossard, doesn't he? It's after the pull, but it is a pull. And Jonathan Moss is obviously looking at it quite a few times here, as we can see on our monitors. For me, that's a penalty. It stops Trossard. Trossard's going to get to the ball first.
Well, it's not been given. It has not been given by the video assistant referee, and Graham Scott has not gone over to look at it on the monitors here. So it's not enough of a foul to be given, or at least enough of a clear and obvious error by the referee for him to be required to review that. And I suppose it is reasonably debatable, because Doherty does take his arms off Trossard after realising that he's going to take a tumble here.
For me, I just think that if he doesn't touch him at all, he gets on the end of that ball, which is a goal-scoring opportunity. But, as you say, is it because it's not enough of a glaringly obvious mistake by the referee? Who knows?
Well, we know it's not been given, and we know it's 1-0 to Tottenham with 24 minutes gone. Here's Heung-min Son down the left-hand side, over the halfway, challenged by Gross, recovered by a combination of Veltman and Webster. And Joel Veltman now in the central defence will knock a pass back to the debutant goalkeeper. Veltman playing in the heart of defence for Brighton today. Played in both legs of Ajax's 3-3 Champions League semi-final away goals defeat to Tottenham back in April-May 2019. Brought in for just £900,000 this summer. That was his release clause from Ajax. Not the kind of fee that anyone really pays in 2020. 3 weeks of Mesut Ozil wages. Here's Lamptey down the right channel towards Pascal Gross, who's not the quickest. Højbjerg gets there first, knocks it against the Brighton man. Assistant referee has given the corner here? I think he has in the end. I think Højbjerg thought he just got away with that, but it's come off him last. Corner Brighton right hand side, their first corner of the match. Gross is over it. Not a great deal of height to aim for at the moment for Brighton. Most players currently at the back post and almost outside the area. Now they run in. Webster's one of them. It's over his head. Tottenham get it away.
Good corner that. Landed right in the danger area. 6-yard box. A lot of pace on it. I think it was Ben White. Rose really high, didn't he? But just couldn't get to that delivery.
Interesting how so many Brighton players were standing on the edge or outside the area before it was whipped in. So often there's players in the area who come out, players that go in, but there was almost no one in the area. They're back in the area again now with Lallana. 1-2 with Lamptey, tries to find a slip through to Trossard, cleared away by Tottenham. Brighton just got Spurs on the back foot right now. Here's Gross on the right, held up by Heung-min Son. Reverse pass down the line to Lamptey, but not enough room there to play in. Ball goes into touch for a throw into Tottenham. 27 minutes gone now. Tottenham 1, Brighton 0. Harry Kane's penalty on 13 minutes separating the two teams.
They're just beginning to work their way into the game. Brighton had a slow 20 minutes, didn't they? But we can see Tottenham 59% of the ball, and that Brighton 41%. I'm sure that's gone up in the last 6 or 7 minutes.
Better from Brighton, but they haven't really tested Hugo Lloris as yet. To be fair, Robert Sanchez on debut in goal for Brighton's not had too much to do. One little nudge over the top. For those just joining us, Matt Ryan dropped today, not injured, he's on the bench. Sanchez is in goal. Robert Sanchez, the 23-year-old 6'6" Spanish goalkeeper. Not much he could do about the penalty. Oh, no, he's not had much to do.
No, he hasn't. Exactly right.
Doherty down the line here for Spurs, midway inside his own half, passes straight into touch. Has been a little bit flat, hasn't it, this game so far?
It has. I thought Tottenham started really well, got their goal. Brighton, as I say, easing themselves back into it at the moment, and probably been the better team the last 6 or 7 minutes, like we just said, and they've forced another corner now.
Yeah, again it's Lamptey down the right hand side, who's a real threat for Brighton, a real option. Lovely close control and turn of pace by the Chelsea Academy product. Challenged by Reguilon, brought in from Real Madrid. Sees another Brighton corner given on the right hand side. 28 minutes gone, Spurs lead by a goal to nil. Is there to be another set piece routine here from Brighton and Hove Albion, who were famous for it when Chris Hughton was in charge here. Gross's delivery, it's away by Kane, recovered by Solly March outside the penalty area. Poke to Bissouma, got lucky there did Solly March. It wasn't near Bissouma, but Son had gambled near, ball went far. Kane has won it back now for Spurs, carries them upfield. One more goal for him will put him to 150 Premier League goals.
It's an amazing record, isn't it? He has.
So the wags listening will say no trophies to show for it. And you do wonder, 27 now, Harry Kane, does he want to be Tottenham's all-time top goal scorer ever? Or does he want some trophies when he's retired, some medals in the cabinet?
That's the catch-22 question, isn't it? I'm sure it, no matter how much he is a Tottenham boy, it must niggle at him. You know, do I go, do I try and get medals and trophies somewhere else? Do I almost end up like the Steven Gerrard situation, never winning the title with Liverpool? Yeah, won cups, but I know it niggled at Gerrard, didn't it? That they never managed to win the league. Will he be the same?
Or will he win the Premier League with Tottenham Hotspur?
Yeah.
Victory today would put them right up there amongst the leaders of this league. They're leading now, but they're defending. Lallana in the area, right hand side, found by Lamptey, back to Gross, cross towards the back post. Solly March is there, heads it down. Trossard gets there before Sissoko bites back and gets the ball clear for Tottenham Hotspur. He'll find Lamela on the far side, March for company. March has run it back into Bissouma. Bissouma slips it into Lallana, back heel towards Trossard, cleared by Alderweireld, recovered by March. Cross comes in, away by Alderweireld. Another corner for Brighton.
Yeah, it's a much better spell for the Seagulls. As that ball came in, they got 4 players in the box. They're showing plenty of intent now.
I wonder what would happen if they had a striker on the field at Brighton. Maupay not in the squad today. No Connolly either. Of course, they sold their record Premier League scorer Ben Murray to Watford. As this ball comes in, it's away by Kane at the near post. Recovered by Ndombele, gives it an old-fashioned wallop upfield. Looking to release Heung-min Son, but it was far too close to Sanchez, the goalkeeper, who can clear it upfield. Brighton dominating the play right now, dominating possession. Do they have the ability to create a goal-scoring chance? Lallana down the right sideline to Trossard, picks it up on the end, looks up, no one to cross to, and eventually just has to cross it, I think, because there was nowhere else to go. And there was no one in the box to aim to either. And it's got to be frustrating for Brighton fans listening and watching on to this one. They're getting in good areas. Got some really good technical players, Brighton, but toothless so far.
That is the word I would use to describe it. They've been pretty good. Last probably 12, 13 minutes with the ball, but no end product. A
couple of tweets here asking where Aaron Connolly is. I know he's not in the matchday squad. I don't have a reason for his absence. I know he was involved in some COVID testing issues with the Republic of Ireland squad. They, of course, lost several players, didn't they, during the most recent international break. But he's not on the injured list I have here, so the answer is I don't know currently. We'll get our spies looking into that, as they are with the Morpie story as well. We had expected Brighton's top scorer to be in the squad today. He is not, as Lamptey throws in from the right hand side, trying to release Trossard. That's a foul throw by Tariq Lamptey. Assistant referee says one foot was raised in the air before he took it.
Inexcusable. Any level of football, you shouldn't take foul throws. Simple as that.
A coach's incredulity there from Kevin Watson.
I see someone do it about a week ago in a Premier League game, and I can't think who it was. It just looks horrible and it's embarrassing.
I do wonder why it matters, though. Like, if your foot's up a bit or the ball doesn't go behind your head, you know, no one's paying to watch the throw-ins. Rory Delap has long since retired.
Yeah, Dave Challoner as well. He possessed a really long throw for Tranmere back in the day. That would land under your crossbar, no problem. It'd be like a corner.
34 minutes gone here. Game is just lulling at the moment, but Tottenham Hotspur won't care about that. They'll be happy to be in possession of the football. They haven't really been for a good 20 minutes or so. They are leading by a goal to nil. Harry Kane's penalty on 13 minutes, separating the two sides. Adam Lallana giving the spot kick away, jumping recklessly into the back of Harry Kane. Good challenge by Lamela on Bissouma in the centre circle. Brighton, they retake possession. Right hand side. Here's Lamptey. 1-2. Accidental with Reguilon. Pokes it towards Trossard. Oliveira with a strong challenge. Clears upfield.
Just shows you Brighton's dominance at the moment is that Lamptey and March can play so high up the pitch. There he is again.
Slipped in by Gross, right hand side, cuts it back, Trossard out of his body, shoots, blocked by Eric Dyer. Offside flag does go up. Lamptey did look offside on first viewing, but I'm sure listeners are used to this by now, that the officials follow the FIFA protocols these days. They don't put the offside flag up until the players come to an end, as opposed to putting the flag up and then we check on VAR and we find out he's on and blah blah blah.
But when a team plays wing backs, you can always tell how they're doing in a game when their position is high up the pitch. It tells you that they've got a lot of the ball and that they can afford and move up the pitch knowing that they're in good possession. When they're forced backwards and become a back five, you know that it's the other team dominating. But at the moment, it's Brighton that are dominating this game.
It's a very different Brighton from the one I was here watching under Chris Hughton 2 seasons ago, when Christian Eriksen's late goal gave Spurs a victory, where they defended all game long. Brighton had no interest getting over the halfway line.
I think we done that game. I vividly remember that game, and it took till the last seconds, didn't it? Last minute, Eriksen scored.
89th, if memory serves.
I mean, they defended like Trojans, but they literally, from kick-off, just sat on the edge of their box and said, come on, try and break us down.
And this is not that side, is it?
Nowhere near that side, no.
They continue to struggle in the Premier League, and they will be down there amongst the bottom six this season, you feel, but they certainly are more pleasant to watch these days. But do Brighton fans care about that? They are losing now to Tottenham Hotspur. Just one victory all season. Alderweireld over the top, trying to find Doherty, goal side of March. Good reading of the game there by Veltman. Clears it upfield, into touch for a throw on the far side to Tottenham. 37 minutes gone. It is 1-0 to Tottenham Hotspur.
Well, after that initial 10-15 minutes where the game was played at a higher tempo and Tottenham got their goal, it's been pretty benign stuff up until this point.
Tottenham take a throw, Doherty in, and they volley it straight into touch for a Brighton throw now over on that far side, midway inside their own half. have made 9 changes from the Antwerp result. Tottenham Hotspur, only Reguilon and Lloris surviving from that game in midweek, where they were beaten by an incredible volley by Rafilov. But really, Tottenham's second string should be winning against teams like Royal Antwerp, and Jose Mourinho certainly felt that, saying maybe the press should stop asking him why some of these second string players are not getting in the team. There's your evidence. They're coming forward here with the first team. Harry Kane spreads it left. Reguilon on the edge of the penalty area, trying to poke it into Son. Good work by Pascal Gross to win the ball back for Brighton. He is then hounded off the ball by Spurs players. Tried to poke it to Lamptey, poked it into touch. Do have the buyback clause, don't they? Real Madrid on Reguilon, if he ends up impressing here. He certainly has impressed in his first few games for Mourinho. Fantastic delivery for one of Harry Kane's goals against West Ham here. Last time I saw them at this stadium. He's given a free kick away here, though.
It's going to be booked as well.
Cross was blocked and Brighton looked to clear, and as you say, he has been yellow carded for, I don't know whether it's the challenge on Gross, which isn't too tidy, or it's the moaning to the referee afterwards.
I think it's the tackle. I'm not sure what he's moaning about, because Gross does him a favour there by half jumping out the way, but the intent was certainly to make his presence felt, to put it mildly.
Europa League winner with Sevilla last season. Well, in August, really, to be fair, last season. doesn't feel like last season, but it was technically. Started the game against Inter in Cologne for the move here. As Doherty, another new signing, has given a free kick away. The jury has been a bit out from Tottenham fans on Matt Doherty since coming in from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Given penalties away, not played particularly well, and he's given a soft free kick away here on the far side, which Brighton can look to deliver. They're about 10-12 yards away from the attacking left corner of the penalty area.
Yeah, this is a dangerous position. No need for that foul from Doherty. And the big guns are up again.
Webster, Veltman, Byrne, White, Bissouma all have height. Bissouma's pulled deep on the edge. March's delivery. Away back header by Sissoko. Byrne recovers on the near side. In fact, he lets it go for a throw. Takes it quickly into Bissouma. Up against Heung-min Son. Yves Bissouma turns back and finds Lamptey. Down the line again to Yves Bissouma. Son holds him up again. It's passed towards the halfway, and Adam Webster. Turn of pace by Adam Webster, and he's driving Brighton forward here. Edge of the area, finds a pass left to Solly March. Cross comes in off Doherty. Loops in the air, loops for another corner to Brighton.
Tottenham have got to be careful here. I mean, they've got
to improve, haven't
they?
Yeah,
they've done the self-same thing, didn't they? The second half against West Ham. 3-0 up. They think the game's won, and they just end up sitting very deep and inviting the other team on. And since the goal, that's what they've done again. Go and score another one. I just don't get it.
Fourth corner for Brighton. Can they make this one count? It's a totally different routine now from Brighton. They have 5 players in the 6-yard box surrounding the goalkeeper and nobody else in the penalty area. And they take it short over on the far side into Trossard. Left-footed cross, won by Byrne, knocks it down. Veltman was the target of the flick, but Hugo Lloris swiftly off his line to smother.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they were trying to do there. All under the crossbar. Taking my eye off the corner taker, I didn't see any clever movement. Normally when teams do that, they run out about 5 or 6 yards and then turn round and come back in, and that's the cue for the corner taker to take the corner. But there was nothing really too clever going on there at all.
42 minutes gone. I've got to say, I'm always so disappointed as a football fan when teams take short corners. It just feels like overthinking when most of the game is getting to a good position to cross it.
Yeah.
And they finally get in one, and they're like, oh no.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can get a better angle here. There is no better angle.
No.
Than taking a corner. Anyway. Today's daily gripe.
The only time in my sort of relatively new management career, if you like, the only time I would encourage it is if you get there quickly, there's two of you around the ball, and you can take it before the other team.
Yes, if it's taken quickly and you want to get on with it, sure. Yeah. But why set up and then just cross it anyway?
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's only really Man City I've seen do something with those, and that was a shot from, I think it was Danilo against Burnley, who found the top corner where they shoot from distance. Apart from that, I can't recall many actually becoming a goal. But you see corners every week headed in.
You do.
I saw Newcastle get a penalty, somewhat controversially doing that earlier today. Though I've watched the replay about 10 times since someone sent it to me, and I still am not quite sure where the foul is. Don't even get me started on Mo Salah. 2 minutes to go into half-time here. 1-0 to Tottenham Hotspur. Reguilon down the line. Sonner's given it straight to Lallana. 3 players around it. Nice footwork by Lallana to draw the touch and win a throw for his side. Leaves it for Lamptey, who gets us back underway. Didn't put that ball all the way behind his head. That was probably a foul throw.
Yeah, it might have been in the last week as well. Clearly he didn't do throw-ons in the under-23s league.
Might not have done much on offside as well. They tried to flick that to him. He's a good 2 yards off, so he's left it. Will be interesting watching Tariq Lamptey, won't it? Because he has got a real big profile quite quickly because of how well he has played, but it can be a long career, and there are as many troughs as there are peaks.
There certainly are.
Here's Bissouma for Brighton, carrying right to left, edge of the area, finds March, Sissoko and Doherty for company. March's cross hits the thighs of Lallana, who was for some reason blocking the cross. Breaks back to March, who runs towards the corner flag with it, looks to win a corner. Lamella's won it back, he hits it against Bissouma. Referee says that's a handball, and that's a free kick to Tottenham Hotspur, who have been very poor since taking the lead in the 13th minute.
Yeah, they have. Disappointed with their performance at the moment. Brighton have done okay, as you've alluded to. They're just lacking a presence and a final product.
Well, they do have a striking option on the bench. No Morpie tonight, no Connolly. Danny Welbeck is amongst the substitutes, brought in on a free after being terminated at Watford at the end of last season. Looking to make his Brighton debut. Sat on the bench in the West Bromwich Albion game, didn't come on there. Of course, a man who played in a few North London derbies against Tottenham for Arsenal in his career.
Yeah, he'd like nothing more than to come on and score. Danny Welbeck, I'm sure. And if it stays like this, and they continue to play the way they are, Brighton, and at the moment dominating the ball, and they need someone to put the ball in the back of the net, i.e. a forward, then he should be on the pitch.
He's not going to stay fit, Danny Welbeck.
No.
So when he is fit, you may as well use him.
Yeah.
There's no point trying to keep him in cotton wool because the injuries come. Harry Kane looks to flick one forward towards Lamela. Burn is always favourite. Burn wins it. Back towards Robert Sanchez, the goalkeeper. He finds a pass to Lamptey. Back to Sanchez again, who looks comfortable on the ball for a big fella. Lumps it upfield this time to Gross. Højbjerg has won it back off Lallana. 3 minutes added on at the end of the opening 45. It's been a tough half to assess, Kev.
Yeah, it's been quite tedious to watch, hasn't it, really? I thought the game was going to be very open after that first 10 minutes. And the Tottenham goal, but Tottenham at the moment do what Tottenham do, and that's score and then almost rest on their laurels.
No excuse for not being fit enough either, because they made 9 changes from midweek. Tottenham. One that did stay is the goalkeeper, who didn't do a great deal in Antwerp, apart from pick the ball out of his net, of course.
Well, for me, Brighton have been the better side, especially with the football, but it's glaringly obvious. You know, they've got nobody at the top of the pitch.
Veltman trying to find Lallana here. Diagonal chip to him. Oh, and Lallana got goal side there of Dyer.
Yeah, when we see that again, it's a wonderful run from Adam Lallana. He goes short and then just spins in behind. There he goes short, there he goes, just runs off the back of Dyer. Lovely little ball. If he brings that down, you feel he's going to get his shot off, but his control lets him down on that occasion.
Fantastic movement from Adam Lallana, Premier League winner, Champions League winner, long-time Liverpool servant, much beloved at Anfield as well, despite only being a bit part player in the last couple of seasons by fans and fellow players alike. Good man to have around. Are you surprised there wasn't a longer queue to sign Adam Lallana this summer?
I think it's probably it was just his lack of games why more people didn't come in for him, but he's going to be a good player for Brighton. He's still a good player. He's been a very good player over the years, and I think a good acquisition.
Did want to find a club back on the south coast or in the south of England. Former Southampton man, of course, as Byrne's been caught here by Lamela on the right hand side. Cross comes in. Byrne in his desperation has hacked down Lamela when the ball has been crossed, and that's a soft free kick given away by Dan Byrne, who was really panicking there.
It is, and it is a booking. Yeah. You know, I thought it was he's had a tug at Lamela to start with.
You would have been right to be surprised.
Yeah. He's had a tug to start with, and then that's a lunge afterwards, isn't it? Rightfully finds himself in the referee's notebook, and a chance for Tottenham here now.
Really poor from Dan Byrne, who's usually such a steady performer for Brighton Hove Albion. But this is a chance for Tottenham. It's on the end line, right hand side, really close to the penalty area. Chance for them to threaten for the first time since the goal, really.
Yeah, big moment right at the end of the first half. This
it would be a gift
to the game.
Lamela's over it, as is Heung-min Son, Kane, Dyer, Alderweireld, Sissoko in the area, Reguilon on the edge. Oh, well, Lamela has just blasted that ball over the crossbar. I don't know if he's trying to shoot or what on earth he was doing. It was really, really poor and rather fitting of the first half from Tottenham Hotspur. They're winning by a goal to nil. Harry Kane's penalty on 13 minutes, won by him and converted by him. The only goal of the game. From that point onwards, very, very flat from Spurs, looking like they're trying to hold on to a 1-0 win. Brighton getting back into it, but without a striker, you ain't going to score. At the break, it's 1-0 to Tottenham. Analysis to follow. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Evenings with James Whale on Talk Radio. Keep connected with round-the-clock news, essential information and expert insight.
I think we've got to be very careful about the way this has all been going on.
Cutting through the confusion with everything you need to stay safe, informed and entertained.
Everyone's going on about, we should be tracking and testing, and I just don't know how that is going to happen.
Evenings with James Whale. Weeknights from 7 on Talk Radio.
In a world of 24/7 global sportscasting and instant news infotainment, one man bestrides the airwaves like a snow-capped Caledonian colossus.
Hello, I'm Jim White.
Jim White, anchorman.
Mid-morning news team, assemble.
Jim White and Natalie Sawyer, the #1 rated news source for breaking sports stories, big-name guests, and liquid showbiz charisma.
Great Odin's Raven. That's quite a transfer.
There's nothing burgundy about Jim White. Tomorrow morning from 10 on TalkSport.
In the spring of the year 2020 AD, a deadly enemy rages like a torrent of fire between the ends of empire.
My name is Maximus Talksportus Pandemicus, gladiator of the sports radio. Gird up your loins and battle the invasion of COVID-19, because what you do today will echo in eternity.
TalkSport Legion, assume tortoise formation against COVID-19.
Show this virus no mercy by keeping a distance of at least 2 meters at all times. That's 6.75 Roman feet centurions. Together, Legion, TalkSportus can defeat it.
TalkSportus Maximus.
On my signal, unleash hand sanitizer.
Keep it on, stay informed, and give coronavirus the red cardus.
Are you not hand sanitized?
20 years of talk sport.
Gentlemen, good evening.
There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Accrington Stanley 4, Titanium Plasmatronic Death Droids from the Future 0.
Excess.
I wasn't getting up, I was just getting in.
Excitement.
Excuse me, Alan.
And extremely strong opinions.
I spend my life covering the big game at the big level.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of talk sport.
For all the latest news, opinions and advice, listen to Talk Radio throughout the day and stay informed as events unfold.
We're now in a position to start implementing the next part of our plan.
Find out what's happening now and what may happen next, all day, every day.
If the government gets to grips with the plan, then surely we will be able to see light at the end of the tunnel.
Listen now on DAB Digital Radio, online, via the Talk Radio app, or ask your smart speaker to play Talk Radio.
Half-time at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs beating Brighton at the interval by a goal to nil. There's a little delay here because the VAR was checking to see whether the infringement was on the line. On the line is in the area, and it has been turned from free kick to penalty. And it's a penalty for Tottenham Hotspur. 12 minutes gone. Harry Kane steps up from 12 yards to give Spurs the lead. And he does against the debutant goalkeeper Sanchez. Reguilon out of his body, tries to shoot, does shoot, on target. Stung the fingertips of Robert Sanchez in goal, who is Son, who's won it from Webster. Runs towards the penalty area. Heung-min Son tries a shot left to right. Tried a curler in the top corner, but caught underneath it. Heung-min Son, and that will be a goal kick to Brighton. Surprisingly flat so far at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, considering that the start we got as well with that early goal from Harry Kane. Kevin Watson watching the game with me. We did expect more, didn't we? What's going on with Spurs? Why do they keep scoring goals, then trying to hold on for, in this case, 77 minutes?
Well, that's Jose Mourinho. We just spoke about it off air, didn't we, Tom? How many times throughout his career his teams will get a goal and then it will be park the bus, if you like. He doesn't need to do it with the players he has in this Tottenham team, but since the goal it's been pretty tepid stuff from the home side, and Brighton have arguably been the better side, but glaringly obvious, just lack any firepower.
Let's talk about the goal. It was a penalty. Lallana jumping into Harry Kane. It was originally given as a free kick, overturned by VAR to be a penalty. That was the right decision.
Yeah, right decision. As we all know, the line in the penalty area, or the lines if you like, belong to the attacking team, and we couldn't see it to start with. We thought it was just a free kick, but good decision from the VAR this evening, and definitely a penalty. He was on the line, and he tucks it home, doesn't he? No danger at all.
Yeah, smart finish from Harry Kane. 149 Premier League goals now for him. Should there have been a penalty at the other end?
I think so. Yes, I think so. I think. Was it Trossard? He dives into the box, and it's a lovely ball across, and I think Doherty has, got his arm round his neck. Let's go at, I think, the all-important time, which stops it from being a penalty. But I think that was the wrong decision, and Brighton should possibly be level.
They are not, but they are still very much in this game, despite the 1-0 deficit at half-time. Kevin Watson for the moment, thank you very much indeed. Elsewhere today in the Premier League, 3 other results from today's games. Interesting stories all around the table right now. Aston Villa, so good, weren't they, in the opening few weeks of the season? Another loss for them. They were beaten 4-3 at home by Southampton, who have risen to third in the table as things stand. Their 4th victory in 7 Premier League games. 4-3 it finished. Newcastle 2-1 winners against Everton. Callum Wilson scoring twice for Newcastle. Dominic Calvert-Lewin with a late consolation for the Toffees, who lose back-to-back matches. And just before this one, Arsenal victorious at Old Trafford against Manchester United. Excellent result for Mikel Arteta's side. Let's hear from the Arsenal manager and his counterpart, the Manchester United manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, speaking to us post-match.
You're playing against a good team. We prepared well. They've prepared well. Don't think there was anything in the first half. They had maybe, we had 1. They had 2 half chances, but still David had didn't have any saves to make. So not a classic game, I have to say. Probably a 0-0 written all over it, apart from that soft penalty we gave away.
Well, it's a huge win for us, and obviously we know our history here in the last 14 years that we haven't been able to win, and I just try to create a mindset and an energy around the team that they could really believe that if we were who we've been today, that we can beat any opponent. And I'm really happy with the result, but I'm extremely proud about the game that they played, the courage that they show, and the game that we played today against a really difficult opponent.
We don't look at the table now. Of course, we've got to have to get points on the board. And last season we didn't really start well enough either. And unfortunately, we're chasing our third win. Last year we got it in the 10th match. We're hoping to get it on Saturday in our 7th.
I think overall in the second half, when we adjusted a few things as well, and we had to go a little bit deeper because I think we were lacking some legs, we were as well really effective. But I'm really proud of what we've done with the ball as well.
Never felt like we got going first half, which was the main thing. That's when they more or less laid the foundation of their win. I thought second half we only had one little bit of defending to do, and unfortunately we gave a soft penalty away.
I think it generates belief, and as well for them it's like, yes, if we do what we have to do, we can beat anybody. I think we're very unlucky to lose against City at the Etihad. For sure we didn't deserve to lose against Leicester, and still we have to react, and we did it in midweek. We did it today again with 2 wins, so let's go for it.
Manchester United have failed to win any of their opening 4 top-flight games at Old Trafford. It's the first time since 1972. They finish 18th that season, just days after thrashing RB Leipzig 5-0 there. They are not a team to be putting on your coupon, are they, for the weekend? Man United, very, very unpredictable. 2 more games for you in the Premier League this weekend. Monday Night Football. It's got a couple of corkers for you. Fulham against West Bromwich Albion. It's already a 6-pointer, isn't it, at the bottom of the Premier League table. Both of those sides in big trouble after really poor starts. Victory there could be crucial later in the season. John Howick and the former Fulham fullback Paul Konchesky will bring you that one. And that's followed by one we're all really looking forward to, Leeds United. Unpredictable, entertaining side, aren't they, under Marcelo Bielsa? They take on Leicester City, Jamie Vardy and all at Ellen Road. I'll be back alongside Danny Gabbidan for that one tomorrow, 7:30 GMT local time. Our coverage starts of that. Here, it's Tottenham up against Brighton Hove Albion. Harry Kane's penalty on 13 minutes separates the two sides at the moment. Second half follows this break. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Talk Sport.
Impress lost tribespeople of the Andes by demonstrating the new updated TalkSport app. Listen live, listen again, and listen good, Buster. Download the app at TalkSport.com now. The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on TalkSport.
Hello, I'm Andy Goldstein, and of course you can hear me on the Sports Bar with Jason Cundy. We'll be taking all your calls, text, tweets and emails on all the big talking points from the weekend's football. And remember, we bring you the very first look at the next day's back page headlines every single night.
The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on TalkSport.
TalkSport.
Catch up and listen up without having to cough up. It's free. Go to TalkSport.com and download the app today. Or don't. Your choice entirely.
Hello, Jim White here. Now, if you're wondering about all the background hullabaloo, I'm helping out as lifeguard at the brand new TalkSport swimming pool. Goff! No running there, boy! But never mind that. Join me tomorrow morning from 10, when I'll be up to my neck in the warm, chlorinated waters of the day's biggest sports stories. Come plunge with me, Jim White, straight in at the deep end of the action.
Weekday mornings from 10 on TalkSport.
Driving home with Darren Goff and Doug, a sporting legend and an angry sports journalist who'll pick a fight with anyone.
Just really winds me up. Absolutely unbelievable.
To say I'm angry is an understatement.
Adrian Durham, what an absolute clown.
Dynamic, double-strength drive time radio.
Shall I stay?
I don't like listening to him. I'll turn off.
Do you want me to stay?
Adrian Durham and Darren Goff.
He's an idiot.
Right, hands up, who wants me to stay?
Drive time radio.
I don't have to.
Weekdays from 4, only on TalkSport.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs on Sport. Talk Sport. It's the Double O Duo on the radio show that's like a collapsible bridge over a shark-infested pool of big names, sporting headlines, and topical debate. Join Paul Alligator Hopscotch Hawksbee and Andy Oddjob Jacobs, flying the plane of sporting entertainment out of the horse's bum of conventional radio.
Have we got pussy galore on the show, Andy?
No, Paul, but we've got Todd Macklin's American Sports Roundup. Will that do?
Not really, Andy, no.
Hawksbee and Jacobs, shaken but not stirred. Weekday afternoons from 1 on Talk Sport.
Talk Sport.
Talk Sport.
Confuse bookmakers, impress football agents, and entertain the kids with the improved Talk Sport app. Totally fun, totally free, totally football. Download it now from TalkSport.com.
Hey, kids, take my mobile and go over there and play or something. Don't press the button that says Tinder.
Talk Sport.
You're back with TalkSport's coverage of Tottenham Hotspur against Brighton Hove Albion from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I'm your host, Tom Rennie. With me for this one, the former Tottenham midfielder Kevin Watson. This is Premier League Live, and the Brighton players have just joined us for the start of this second half here in North London. Certainly played well in that first 45, did Graham Potter's side, but without a striker, it does seem unlikely they will score. Just looking through the players that are out there now, it doesn't seem like there has been any changes for the Seagulls at half-time. So here is their side, starting with the goalkeeper Robert Sanchez in for Matt Ryan from the start today. Back three of Dan Burn, Joel Veltman and Adam Webster. Ben White, Ede Bissouma in the centre of midfield. Tarek Lamptey on the right, Solly March on the left. Adam Lallana, Leandro Trossard and Pascal Gross. A nominal front three in no particular formation. Matt Ryan, Alexis McAllister, Stephen Alzate, Danny Welbeck, Davy Proper, Andy Zakiri and Bernardo, the bench. Spurs, no changes for them either. So Hugo Lloris in goal. Back four, left to right for Sergio Reguilon, Eric Dyer, Toby Alderweireld and Matt Doherty. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Moussa Sissoko in the centre midfield with Tanguy and Ndombele, Heung-min Son, Harry Kane, Eric Lamela, front three, left to right. On the bench, Joe Hart, Harry Winks, Gareth Bale, Joe Rodon, Giovanni Lo Celso, Lucas Moura and Ben Davis. Graham Scott, our referee, Jonathan Moss, the VAR, and it was Moss who gave the penalty on VAR after it was originally given as a free kick. We are underway at the start of the second period. Tottenham kicking from left to right as we look. White shirts, navy shorts and white socks. Brighton the other way, right to left as we're looking. Blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks. Kevin Watson with me for this match here from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. What's going to happen with Tottenham in the opening 20 minutes here? Are they going to chase that second goal?
Well, I'd like to think they will, because 3 goals weren't enough against West Ham. So I can't see one being enough. I think they'll need to score again. Regardless of Brighton's lack of firepower, they will get a chance, Brighton. I know that they've had plenty of the ball and they've not really created an awful lot at the moment, but they will get a chance, and they could quite easily, just like Newcastle did to Tottenham here, got battered for the whole game and then scored at the end, and one is not enough. I'd like to see Tottenham be a little bit more not direct in terms of smashing it long, but just play a little bit higher up the pitch.
And at what minute do you think we see Danny Welbeck for Brighton? Do you think it's just a case of how fit he is, if at all? Yeah,
I mean, if he's on the bench, then he's obviously medically fit to play. But how long will he last? Me personally, if it gets to 60-65 minutes and it's still 1-0, you put him on. You put him on to try and get yourself back in the game. Whether Potter does that or not, I don't know, but that would be my personal thoughts on that matter.
Tottenham coming forward here, and Ndombele, change of pace, running towards the penalty area, a couple of awkward looking step overs, allowing Brighton to win it back, and Lamptey pokes it to Lallana, away from Højbjerg onto Trossard in the halfway. His return chip is intercepted. That's going to be a throw in to Brighton, which they take back to Gross from Trossard. Coming forward from the centre defence, Veltman charges past Ndombele and Sissoko and Højbjerg, and then he pokes it into nowhere. It was a great drive from the central defender, but it did have the look of nosebleed territory there as he just poked it to nowhere.
I was just about to say that. It really opened up for him, didn't it? runs past Ndombele, and all of a sudden he's running at Tottenham's back too there, but his distribution lets him down at the end.
Lewis Dunk not in the matchday squad for the Seagulls today, suspended following his red card against Palace. Also no Morpie, no Connolly. Matt Ryan dropped, so it is a much changed looking Brighton, and they've certainly been in the game so far. No Dele Alli, by the way, in the squad at all for Tottenham Hotspur, though I'm sure regular listeners and people who know the Tottenham story this season will have expected that. Got a free kick here of Spurs, left hand side, 40 plus yards from goal. Dyer's gone forward for it. Harry Kane, it looks like he's sizing it up here.
It's a long way out, isn't it?
It's a real long way. I mean, he's 35 to 40 yards, I reckon this.
He's going to shoot. You can see by the way he's lined it up, he's going to shoot.
Well, he's against the debutant goalkeeper, and he's looking for 150 Premier League goals. He's chipped it towards Heung-min Son, who's brought it down in the area, and now he's dived to try and get a penalty. And look at Veltman screaming at him for diving. Spurs playing on here with Harry Kane, who now dives for a penalty.
Well,
and the ball's gone out of play for a goal kick. Graham Scott will be consulting VAR.
I'm sure he will, because the Kane one looked more of a penalty than the Son one. Son doesn't need asking twice to go down, does he? But Harry Kane, he's not just going to dive on the floor for no reason whatsoever now.
No, he wants to win a penalty.
Let's have a little look.
Well, we're getting a long replay of the whole incident here. Heung-min Son, I mean, that's atrocious from Son.
Yeah.
I think it's Veltman behind him, and there is no contact at all. For Kane, he's running at Bissouma, and he kind of waits for Bissouma to make some connection with him and jumps to the ground, and I think quite rightly doesn't get a penalty. I mean, you know, we saw Mo Salah yesterday, slight touch and dive to the ground. It often does get you a spot kick. Kane could have got that.
He could have. You can see what he's doing. He's flipped it inside and then dragged his feet against the defender's feet. So he's trying to buy a penalty, really. Yeah.
And it's funny how sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. You just have to accept there is a level of cheating in the game
that's a foul
throw. I suppose
throw.
you call it clever these days. It was a foul throw.
Another one, and you could hear the Brighton players screaming for a foul throw.
It was Reguilon this time. The referee hasn't given it as a foul throw. But, yeah, that did not look good from a pretty experienced player.
The art of the throw-on has just gone out of the game. I'd reckon take throw-ons out of the game and just have kick-ons.
Well, that's what Arsene Wenger suggested recently, wasn't it? For the last, I think it was 5 minutes of games, do the kick-on.
Oh, did he? I didn't hear that, actually.
Yeah, one of his recommendations for the future of football. / selling his book. As Solly March has chipped over Doherty on this near side. Jose Mourinho, by the way, is having a word with the fourth official down there, Simon Hooper. Good luck, Simon, about that penalty that wasn't awarded. Højbjerg's gone down here. He's got an injury, so might not be able to carry on. I mean, the debate will rage. I mean, I was watching the West Ham game yesterday, and I thought Mo Salah cheated for the penalty, but you do get those penalties. Slight contact, jump on the ground, you get it. We just have to accept that players will cheat to get things, and you know, as soon as officials start giving those penalties, you're going to see it more often. But Harry Kane here hasn't got one, and you know, it's a similar sort of thing, isn't it? Waited for contact and then took a tumble.
Yeah.
So why is this not a penalty, but Salah's was?
Again, grey areas, subjective viewpoints from VAR and different referees, and everyone's got their own opinions, Tom. That's the problem. There's too many grey areas with the VAR. Like you say, penalty gets given yesterday for a similar offence. And you can see what Harry Kane's doing. As he's flipped it inside, he's just dragged his feet into, I think it was Bissouma, wasn't it, into his feet. So on another day, they could say, yeah, that's contact, and that's a penalty.
Højbjerg here looks in some distress. Ball was rolling across his body, and he tried to turn to find a pass, and something has pinged or tweaked. He's being seen to by the medical team here, but I do wonder whether he's going to be able to carry on. Gareth Bale, Harry Winks, Giovanni Lo Celso, Lucas Moura, all able to replace him, so not the same player, of course, but could maybe fill in. Maybe Ndombele could drop deeper.
You'd think it'd be Winks going into that deep line role if needs be.
Well, he's back on Højbjerg, but he's not moving well at all in the centre of midfield as Brighton look to come forward with Tariq Lamptey through the centre. As the ball nipped off his toes by Ndombele. Doherty gives it straight back to Brighton. Then the referee says foul by Gross after the Seagulls have won it back, and that's a bit fortunate there for Tottenham. Doherty not having a great game here.
No, he's been sloppy, hasn't he? Give away a potential penalty that wasn't given. He's been sloppy with the ball.
.54 minutes gone. Tottenham 1, Brighton 0 here on Premier League Live. Brighton still very much in this game. They're not looking threatening at all moving forward, but in truth, apart from jumping for a penalty, Tottenham don't either.
No, it's been a pretty tepid encounter, isn't it, up until this point? I think it needs a goal either way just to spark it into life.
Højbjerg from a throw tries to bundle his way through. Brighton win it back. Upfield with Solly March. Nice nutmeg away from Lamela. Held up though by Sissoko, who's stronger than Solly March. He's certainly more muscular than March. He kind of just pushed him off the ball, didn't he?
It was like taking sweets from a baby, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly right. Couldn't keep the ball in play though, Sissoko. I'll be annoyed with that because he worked really hard to win it back for Tottenham. It's a Brighton throw by the corner flag, left-hand side, into Lallana. Tries to flick it towards Dan Burn, had got forward. Cleared away. Gross heads it back to Adam Webster, the Brighton captain. Back towards Sanchez, whose pass return to Webster was right in front of Heung-min Son. Webster upfield, diagonal in the air towards Trossard. Cleared away by Reguilon. Flicked on by Ndombele in the air, trying to find Lamela. This is as scrappy a game of football I've seen all season.
Well, it's a pretty odd thing to say because Tottenham are leading the game 1-0. But I think both teams need to make a change. Tottenham to liven themselves up, and Brighton will obviously have to score a goal to get back into it, and they just don't look like scoring a goal when they get in and around Tottenham's penalty area.
In the area now, Brighton with Solly March on the edge, left-hand side. Tries a square ball to Bissouma, allowing Højbjerg to steal, and then Højbjerg's gone down under tackle. Referee says no foul there. Not quite sure about that one as March crosses into Gross, onto Lamptey, and that's a goal. And that's a goal for Brighton. Lovely interplay on the edge from the Seagulls. Tottenham furious because they feel Højbjerg was fouled in the build-up. Graham Scott didn't give it, and Brighton have taken full advantage. 1-1.
Well, famous last words from the commentator as usual. They don't look like scoring. Where are they going to get a goal from? That's a foul. That is an undoubted foul. We're looking on the monitors, but once it's not given, it's really well worked from Brighton. They get into the box, a lovely little square pass, which finds Lamptey again high up the pitch, and what a composed finish from the young man. Really well done, Tariq Lamptey.
Well, I am not sure why that isn't a foul on Højbjerg. I mean, you've seen a few replays of it now, and it looked like a foul in real time. So why is Graham Scott standing a couple of feet away, not given that?
I honestly could not tell you, Tom. I really honestly couldn't tell you. I mean, it's a fantastic goal from Brighton's point of view, but we're looking again. Solly March comes in from the side. Now, if he wins that ball, the ball will go in a completely opposite direction to where it has gone.
Now that's what VAR are looking at right now. Foul in the build-up. The VAR is Jonathan Moss, and now the referee is going to look on the monitor to see whether he thinks that obvious foul was a foul or whether this goal will stand. It's quite a long way from the goal, isn't it? I mean, when you've not given it, this is not leading directly to the goal, so I don't know how happy I am. They're looking at this, considering Brighton take it back. There's 2 or 3 passes and a shot. This is not the immediate moment before the goal, is it?
No. Do you know what? The more you look at it, does his calf roll on top of the... Oh, it might do, you know. It looks horrible, doesn't it? But does March's foot roll or calf roll on top of the ball first? Here. Or it does. Look.
I mean, he gets a bit of the ball, but he gets a lot of man. That is a dangerous challenge.
It's a horrible tackle. It's a foul. Regardless of taking a slight touch on the ball, will he change his mind?
Well,
you can only look at it so many times.
I mean, he's seen it a lot now, so you've got to make a decision. Is it a foul or not? How many times he's now looking at it in super slow-mo, he's now frozen it. He's in the shot, he's so close. He hasn't got a clue. He has got no idea whether this is a foul or not, Graham Scott. He's obviously talking to Jonathan Moss, who'll have his opinions. He's watching it again and again and again. It's like a GIF ingrained in his mind, this. And surely he can't overturn it on something he is not sure about at all.
Well, there you go. And you can see him making a little 2-inch sign with his fingers.
It's been given.
It's been given the goal.
The goal is given. No foul by Solly March, says VAR. That is confirmed. And that's a wonderful story for Tariq Lamptey, who scores his first senior goal in football.
Well, he's hiding behind the fact, if you like, of the reason that I just saw, Tom, of his calf rolls on top of the ball. But as you said, it's a dangerous tackle. Forget the minute touch on that football. It's a dangerous tackle. So he'll believe that he's made the right decision because there is a slight touch on the ball, and probably feels too embarrassed to overturn it. That's where it lies with me.
Well, it's 1-1. That's what we can tell you. It's been odd. An odd game, odd goals, long VAR pauses, but Tariq Lamptey has scored.
But you, Tom, you can't tell me how he's missed that in normal play.
No, he's a foot away from it. It makes no sense. Brighton coming forward here, searching for a second here. Trossard in the area, shoots a goal. Blocked by the retreating Doherty, and Tottenham are on the back foot here, and they are going to find it tough to shake that off.
We've had to watch that numerous times and in super slow-mo to actually see that minute touch on the ball. You can't tell me he saw that touch in normal play.
No way.
Possible.
But there isn't enough watching it on the replay for him to overturn that decision, I don't think. And again, as this goes into play, out of play here, it's going to be a goal kick to Tottenham. An hour gone, it's 1-1. I just don't think you should be looking that far back. It wasn't a foul as the ball went in. They take it back, they run forward, there's a couple of passes and a shot. That seemed too far back to me.
Yeah, it was completely correct.
But it is subjective, because they decide what a phase of play is on the hoof. There's no rule. Yeah. It's not like 8 seconds or whatever. No. It could be anything. It doesn't need to be 8 seconds.
Again, subjective in the eyes of the person that's reffing the game. And, it was a phase of play in terms of the ball hadn't gone out, it hadn't changed hands, and Brighton ended up scoring from it. So, but let's not take anything away from Lamptey. Again, high up the pitch, lovely little ball from Gross, and he's passed the ball into the net.
Yeah, he looks a superb player.
Yeah, he does.
Superb player. Why is every young, brilliant player in England right now right back?
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, he's got a big... If he continues to do what he's doing, he's got a big future ahead of him, and I can't see it.
Is there a formation England can play with 11 right backs?
Well,
let's look into it. That's the question for Gareth Southgate now. Solly March on the left-hand side. Maybe he could play for England soon. Cross comes in towards Lallana, pokes it back towards Trossard. Højbjerg will get it clear. He's still not moving well, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, at all. Up to Harry Kane on the halfway line, who's been deathly quiet since scoring the penalty on 13 minutes. And Dombele's given this away here to Basuma. And he can drive forward here, Basuma. Approaching the area, Basuma. He pokes it to Lallana, who wasn't alert enough. And Spurs get it away with Doherty, who runs into touch. Tell you what, he wanted to change 11 players in midweek, Jose Mourinho. He might want to do it again today.
Well, he needs to make changes, because this game is taking on a familiar pattern for me, and that is the one of when they played West Ham, Tom. They've come out the second half, they've hardly had possession of the ball, they've hardly been in Brighton's half. Look where Harry Kane, he's on the back of the D of the centre circle. You're letting an away team dominate the ball, and at the minute, this is only going one way. and that is Brighton will get another one.
Brighton have lost their last 6 away games against Tottenham. Their last victory away at Spurs was at White Hart Lane in October 1981. They're playing well here as Lallana pokes it back to March. Left hand side, approaching the area, tries a 1-2, Doherty in the way, March brings him down, and that'll be a free kick to Tottenham on their own end line, right hand side. And I can tell you that Giovanni Lo Celso is about to enter the fray for Tottenham, and Tanguy Ndombele is to be withdrawn on 63 minutes.
Yeah, singing his praises in Ndombele at the start of this game, but he's had a quiet hour, or just over the hour. Having said that, it could be anyone for me.
Yeah. Lo Celso coming back from a long-term injury. Only one Premier League start this season.
I know, just changing the subject slightly, I know Harry Winks divides opinion. I'm a big fan of his. You know, he has a horrible habit of passing to someone in the same colour shirt as him, 95% of the time. And at the moment, Tottenham don't have a lot of possession of the ball, so he'd be a favourite of mine to put on.
Well, he started the first 3 games of the season in the Premier League, Harry Winks, and has been on the bench ever since. Solly March in some trouble here as he chased that ball down the left hand side, gave the free kick away. He's hurt himself somehow, and he's receiving treatment. Graham Scott's inviting him to get some treatment off the field.
He's looks like he fell awkwardly on his left ankle there, was it? Twisted as he fell.
He doesn't look comfortable, does he, Solly March? In that position, left wing back for this team, you've got to be able to get up and down, sprint all game. So if he's not able to do that, he needs to be changed, and changed quickly here for Brighton.
Arguably in a 3-5-2 for me, they are the most important positions on the pitch, the right wing back and the left wing back.
It does look like there will be a change. It will be... Well, they've got lots of options, haven't they? Alzate could do it, Zakiri could do it, Bernardo could do it. We will see as we are back underway, and Brighton are temporarily down to 10, but they are on the front foot here.
They certainly are.
We are hearing that it's Bernardo who's going to be coming on, and who was a favourite of the previous regime, Bernardo. Not necessarily Graham Potter's cup of tea. He is on here to replace the stricken Solly March. Should be seamless though. He's a good athlete, versatile player, more of a fullback than winger, Bernardo. It's crossed from the other side right now by Pascal Gross, which has been cleared away by Dyer, and that may well be a corner to Brighton on the right hand side.
Yeah,
it will be.
They've had a good 20 minutes, the Seagulls. Really good 20 minutes. Graham Potter will be delighted. They've got their goal. Not only that, what Tottenham are failing to do, which is attack, they're doing in droves at the moment.
5th corner of the match for Brighton, first of the second half. On the attacking right hand side, Gross is over it. Another routine here for Brighton. Whipped in towards Webster, who's won it, but all he could do is flick it across the penalty area. No one's there to turn it home. That was not a bad ball in from Gross, and I just wonder whether Webster just went a touch too soon.
Again, they look dangerous from set pieces, especially when they don't take short set pieces. And that ball is, the perfect ball really. It's landing, it's just dropping in the middle of the 6-yard box, in the middle of the goal. Perfect ball.
67 minutes gone. Tottenham 1, Brighton 1 here on Premier League Live. Harry Kane with the opener. Tarek Lamptey with the equaliser. Here is Harry Kane in the centre circle. Hasn't really found Heung-min Son at all today. Tried to here. Intercepted by Brighton. Breaks back to Harry Kane. Lo Celso round the corner to Kane. Pokes it back towards Lo Celso. Right towards Doherty. Doherty into Lo Celso. Right hand side. Back to Matt Doherty again. Giovanni Lo Celso away from fellow substitute Bernardo. Into Sissoko. Back to Lo Celso. Into Lamela. Lamela in the centre, turning forward, shooting a goal. Good effort, hits the post. Oh, and it's turned back towards his own goal by Veltman. Could have gone anywhere. It's just gone wide.
First real period of play that Tottenham have had since the half-time break. Lo Celso at the heart of it, gets it into Lamela. No one closes him down. They've got to get out quicker. Daisy cutter, I'll
tell you what. On the replay, we didn't quite see that, did we? Veltman turned it back towards goal, and the goalkeeper got up, and he just managed to poke that away. Corner comes in. That's cleared by Byrne at the back post. Doherty was lurking. Forward again from Tottenham, away from Brighton. Well, all of a sudden there's a game.
Yeah, well, Sanchez does brilliant there, doesn't he? It cannons back off the post, and Veltman, as you say, inadvertently hits him, and it's going in, and the debut boy, it makes a great save to keep Brighton on level terms.
Yeah, vindication for the selection of Robert Sanchez there for Graham Potter. Excellent reaction save. As we mentioned earlier, began the season 4th choice goalkeeper here. He's been at the club for a long time. Been on loan to Forest Green, to Rochdale, back to Levante, where he was a youth player, but has really come from nowhere in Premier League terms to play this game, and that was a really smart save. Couldn't have done much about Lamela's shot if it had gone in. So good was it from Lamela. Ball is in the Tottenham half with Brighton in possession. Lamptey chips it back towards the halfway, and Byrne has been caught by Lamela. Veltman had to steal the ball back for Brighton and did. Clears it upfield. Covered by Moussa Sissoko, who drives out right. That's a foul on him by Ben White. And that may well give Tottenham the chance here to make a change. They've been readying for a few minutes, and Gareth Bale makes another appearance on the comeback trail, replacing Lamela, who hit the post moments ago.
And another 20-minute cameo from Gareth Bale, and I'd like to see him a little bit more enthusiastic in this 20 minutes than he has been in his previous appearances and time on the pitch he's had since returning to Tottenham.
And he's on now, Gareth Bale. Hopefully for Spurs, he has got some match fitness, match sharpness from those cameo appearances. Here he is on the end line, back to Doherty, right-footed cross, away by White in his own penalty area there. And all he can do is head it back behind his own end line for a corner kick to Tottenham.
You'd be disappointed with that, Ben White. I think that he's actually headed it out for a corner. He didn't need to. He was under no real pressure. Not the best ball in from Doherty.
Lo Celso will take this corner. 70 minutes gone. Tottenham 1, Brighton 1. Lo Celso's delivery is good. It's broken to Harry Kane, who's hit the post. At the back post, close angle. Tried desperately to turn it into the back of the net. Couldn't do so. Cross comes in now. Sanchez gathers in the air.
Well, how many times have you seen Harry Kane doesn't get involved? Dyer heads it to the back post, and it comes off his chest and almost narrows the angle for him too much to be able to steer it in. Yeah, look at that. He tries to hook it back, but cannons off the upright.
Very close. Very, very close from Harry Kane. Good flick on in the penalty area. It might have been Gareth Bale jumping with Dyer, so it would have been a Bale assist having just come on, which would look good for him. At the other end, Brighton coming forward. They'll be frustrated to only be level in this game, Brighton. They have been the better of the two teams. Lamptey back towards Webster. Approaching the penalty area, Webster back on his left boot. Didn't want to cross with it. Finds Byrne. On to Bernardo on the left wing now, up against Doherty. Challenged by Doherty, held up well, but the former RB Leipzig man has done well to keep Brighton on the ball. Back to Veltman in his own half. Son and Kane pressuring him. Forward pass into White. Back to Byrne. Over the halfway line, Brighton. Byrne looks to find Bissouma. Bissouma's done well to fend off Son and Lo Celso. Pokes it forward. Clears Sissoko. Recovered by Brighton again, who are just so comfortable on the ball all over the field.
They are. I like Bissouma. I think he does a great job for him in the middle of the pitch. Almost like a Kanté style role he has for Brighton. He's not just a holding midfielder either. He's got a little bit of everything about him, Bissouma.
Got to be up there for one of the Premier League's most improved players since coming into the club, Yves Bissouma. brought in from Lille back in July 2018. Added goals to his game at the back end of Project Restart as well. Forward ball here by Brighton goes all the way through to Hugo Lloris. Still Danny Welbeck sits on the bench for Brighton. Big crossfield right to left to Reguilon for Tottenham. Right-footed cross towards Gareth Bale, and there's the goal. And there's Gareth Bale's first goal for Tottenham since 2013. Bale is back with a bang for Tottenham Hotspur. Smart header at the near post. And Tottenham's number 9 is back up and running in North London. 2-1.
Well, you can see what that means to him, can't you? You could hear his screams of yes, come on, when he's wheeling away to celebrate. What a fantastic pass this is. Crossfielder from Alderweireld finds Reguilon. You think he's going to cross it with his left, but no. Checks back, uses his right. And Gareth Bale is standing there. It's poor marking from Brighton. But he's standing there on his own, 6 yards out. And he's very adept with his head, isn't he? And he's just steered that into the near post. And Tottenham lead 2-1.
It's the Real Madrid 1-2 for Tottenham Hotspur. Reguilon to Bale. Bale to the bottom corner. And he scores his first Tottenham goal since the winner against Sunderland in May 2013.
It's a wonderful header. Really good Tottenham move.
He even smiled, Kev.
Yeah, absolutely. We've not seen that for a while, have we? Well, he's had no reason to. The time he had at Real Madrid, but he's back now in North London, where he had such good times prior. But I tell you what, a raking ball from Alderweireld to find Reguilon. You're thinking he's going to cross it with his left. Checks back onto his right, but that marking in the box, well, it wasn't marking, was it? It was poor. Nobody near Gareth Bale, but he's still got to get his head on it and turn it and steer it into that near post, which he does brilliantly.
Brighton have made a change. Danny Welbeck is now on. Trossard has gone off, and now Lamptey's got a problem, so Gross has to knock it into touch. Lamptey has gone down on the halfway line, holding his right leg close to his body. Could be an issue here with his calf, maybe. It looks like he's trying to stretch out his calf a bit, maybe his hamstring.
He's not happy, is he? Yeah. That's a muscle injury. That's a big blow. Well, it will be a big blow for Brighton.
Well, what an important moment for Gareth Bale. I think many of us thought it would take maybe 10, 12 games, considering just how little football he has played in the last year, really. Barely got a kick for Real Madrid. A couple of games for Wales aside, he's not really played much football, so it was always going to take a long time to get to match sharpness, and he might not be there yet, but you can see that he's still got that incredible talent, and that's a really, really good header.
Well, he's always been very, very good in the air, Gareth Bale, and that was a fantastic header. You're right, that one goal is not going to make a difference to his fitness, and he'll still need more minutes and more game time and more games, if you like, to find that, and that won't come anytime soon. But he knows where the goal is and always has done. But the room afforded to him in that Brighton 6-yard box, it was poor defending.
He looked happy, didn't he, him and Reguilon? Of course, fellow man brought in from Real Madrid during the summer transfer window. We're back underway here. Lamptey is still getting some treatment off the field, so Brighton temporarily down to 10. They do now have Danny Welbeck on. Lamptey is back on, and Sanchez blasts the ball up towards him. There'll be close eyes on Lamptey over on that far side from the medical staff, game after game after game at the minute in the Premier League.
I'm sure they'll be breathing a huge sigh of relief, the Brighton staff and players, to see Lamptey get up and carry on as normal.
Well, they've got a striker on now, Kevin Watson, so what does that mean for the way Brighton play? Are they going to maybe look to the feet of Danny Welbeck a bit more, play him down the channel? What's the game plan here?
I think that the philosophy Potter has, nothing much will change. He obviously isn't fit enough to start a game, but they'll continue to play the same. They might go into him a little bit quicker, I don't know, but I wouldn't expect too much to change.
77 minutes gone, it's 2-1 to Tottenham here on Premier League Live. Harry Kane and Gareth Bale on the score sheet now. Just a Son goal away from all of Tottenham fans' dreams coming true. If they can get that 3 to work, Kevin Watson, you can see why people are talking about Tottenham being contenders.
Oh yeah, I mean, on paper it's a dream front three, isn't it?
Brighton have it in the centre of midfield. To have just one of that 3 for Brighton. Great approach play, lots of possession. Toothless so far. Over the top towards Danny Welbeck, who's come on. Picked it up by the corner flag. Finds a poke back towards Bernardo. He's done well, actually. But Doherty will win it back for Spurs. Gareth Bale will hook it upfield towards Kane. What's his position, Gareth Bale, do you think? Where do you think he will be played best here for Tottenham?
I think where he is at the moment, right-hand side of a front three. He can play on the left, but I think what he's always liked doing is going down that right-hand side and cutting in onto his venomous left foot. He quite easily could play just off of Harry Kane as well. So any one of those roles, really, I think. If he gets back to what he was, it's going to be such a good acquisition for Tottenham, isn't he?
Well, Tariq Lamptey can't continue here. Alexis McAllister is on to replace him. They're different types of players. That might be a bit of a rejig. On top of the rejig for Brighton, we'll see where McAllister goes. Looks a little bit like Pascal Gross has gone to right wing back here. And maybe the formation needs to settle. We'll give that a minute before letting you know if that's how they're going to play here, Brighton. But losing Tariq Lamptey is a big loss, and Solly March as well. So important, isn't it, that position, as you've mentioned already, to the 3-5-2, and they've lost both wing backs.
Yeah, it is a blow, isn't it? So key and vital to the way Brighton play, those two. Graham Potter and his staff will be hoping that they're both okay and available very soon.
Harry Kane here trying to drive down the left wing, tried to kick and run past Webster, then realised he was Harry Kane and pushed Webster on the floor. 10 minutes remaining here. Brighton will feel hard done by, but not discouraged.
They've done okay. I just think it's, they've scored through their right wing back. I just think it's quite obvious that they do need a goal scorer.
Here's Harry Kane, who is a goal scorer, looking behind the Brighton defence for Bale on the run. Byrne will get there first and knock it back to Robert Sanchez in goal, all in bright green away to our right. You're with Premier League Live. Tom Rennie and Kevin Watson with you. A reminder, we are back with you tomorrow. 2 games in the Premier League from 5 o'clock UK time, so do check the time zone where you are. Fulham against West Bromwich Albion, the early game. That's followed by Leeds United up against Leicester City. So 2 further games in the Premier League tomorrow for you. Here's Alexis McAllister on the right, trying to get Brighton upfield. Midway inside Spurs territory, finds a pass back towards Gross, who is playing right wing back now in place of Lamptey, who's gone off injured. Veltman on the halfway. Spurs have everybody back.
Again, Tottenham score and retreat.
Yeah.
Just asking, in my opinion, for trouble.
Here's Gross over on the right hand side for Brighton. Couldn't get down the line like Lamptey does, so has to go back. Here's Veltman. That's a poor ball. The former Ajax man, he tried to find the diagonal run up, and it goes straight through to Hugo Lloris in goal, who chest controls and wastes a bit of time before rolling out to Toby Alderweireld. Doherty upfield towards Lo Celso, and they just all of a sudden have stopped playing Tottenham, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean,
explain that to me. I don't understand.
Well, it's been that way since the start of the second half. Apart from the Harry Kane from the corner hooking it onto the post and the goal, we've just seen a stat: Brighton 68% of the possession. I mean, for a Tottenham team that contains this ability, they shouldn't be sitting back the way they are.
Well, they're not great at defending, so
no,
not sure it's the best tactic here, but they are winning, Tottenham, and that's what Mourinho does. So
we've seen it. It's not the first time it's happened, and it's not the first time that Tottenham could possibly come unstuck.
Here's Dan Byrne down the left-hand side for Brighton. Left-footed cross hits the gut of Doherty. Took that well, did the Tottenham fullback. Throw-in taken quickly. Veltman left to right. Into the feet of the Brighton captain Webster. Out to Gross. Dummies to cross left-footed. Son is with him. Very quiet today, Heung-min Son. Webster forward, pokes it right to Gross. Right-footed cross in towards Welbeck, who's got there first. Still alive, this one. Bernardo in the area, Bale back defending. Spurs wanted a foul on Lloris, which wasn't coming. Welbeck just couldn't get the angle to turn it home.
Yeah, I was about to say, before he put that cross in, they've been in great areas wide, Brighton, and they refused to cross the ball. And that was a ball in, very good ball in. All of a sudden Welbeck goes in with Lloris, and it's caused problems. If you get in wide areas, cross the ball. See what Tottenham are made of defensively in there.
Well, we're getting a replay on our monitors here of that cross. Danny Welbeck against Lloris. Is there a foul by Danny Welbeck?
I don't think so. I think he's quite within his rights to go for that.
Lallana bringing Brighton upfield. 84 minutes gone. Tottenham 2, Brighton 1 on Premier League Live. Back towards White on the halfway. Looks left towards Byrne. Byrne left-footed forward towards Welbeck. It's volleyed into the stands by Toby Alderweireld. Brighton wanted to get on with the throw quickly, and they're going to make a change here, Tottenham, to stop that. And Heung-min Son is going to be withdrawn here for the final 6 minutes, to replace by Ben Davies. So defensive change for Jose Mourinho, and it has been a very quiet performance from Heung-min Son.
Yeah, it has. It just shows you Jose's mindset, though, doesn't it? What he's been about in his whole career. You take Son off and you put another left back on, so he's effectively got 2 left backs on the pitch. And what I think will happen is Reguilon will just move further up the pitch and play as that left-sided forward, possibly, unless he changes formation.
Well, they do still have Gareth Bale, Giovanni Lo Celso, Harry Kane, so there are options for Tottenham forward, but at the moment everyone's back defending. They're trying to stop Brighton. That's the game plan for the final 5.
He's almost put a back 5 in here.
Oh, Burns' cross hits Dyer on the arm.
That's handball.
Shouts of handball. That's right on the edge of the penalty area. Referee's not given it. A late handball penalty against Tottenham. They will not want to experience that again, I'm sure.
Has he stopped the game?
Yes, it is being checked by the video assistant referee, and they have said that the referee, Graham Scott, needs to look at this. I think it's outside the penalty area, but we're getting the replay now. It's Eric Dyer. He might well be in the area here. I can't quite tell from that replay.
Just outside, I think.
Is he? Oh, that's very close. Well, it's not been given. It's a free kick on the halfway line to Brighton for a foul which happened later in the piece, so that was not given as a penalty or free kick for handball, and that's a sigh of relief. But the cross is coming in from deep towards Webster, who flicks it on. It's on target. Lloris caught it on the goal line and under pressure fell half behind the goal line, but he kept the ball out.
Yeah, just about, wasn't it? High looping header from Webster. Horrible for Lloris, that one, and he's had to catch it just under that crossbar.
Well, they're doing whatever they can to shoot themselves in the foot here, Tottenham, aren't they?
Yeah.
Lloris nearly throws the ball in his own net. Dyer nearly gives a penalty away, and on the replay, to gather the ball, Lloris actually pulled it into his chest, and half his chest was over the goal line.
Yeah.
So he brought that ball nearly into his own goal there, the Spurs captain. Well, that's twice now Spurs have tried to give the equaliser away. They'll hope that's the last time. Here is Adam Webster, the Brighton captain, on the halfway, right to Pascal Gross.
Yeah, there you go, Reguilon getting in the face of the Brighton wing-back really high up the pitch.
Well, there's still a point to be had here for Brighton, but Tottenham have got the players to get the killer goal too. Sissoko's won it back for them, and he carries it all the way to the corner flag down the right sideline. Sissoko running for the corner in the 87th minute. He thinks he's won a throw in for his side. He hasn't. been given Brighton's way. Again, it's certainly the professional thing to do, the Mourinho thing to do.
Yeah, that's the way I'll look at it.
Is it the right thing to do?
Been far from impressive, Tottenham tonight for me. Far from impressive.
But at the moment, on the verge of 3 points. Here's Harry Kane. Goes down looking for a foul from Ben White, not getting it. He does. Oh, Bernardo slipped over here and he's allowed Gareth Bale to steal. Leaves it for Lo Celso, back to Gareth Bale in the area. Lo Celso now, can he shoot? Does shoot, deflected wide. Well, it's good play by Lo Celso and Gareth Bale, jumping all over Bernardo, who slips. Maybe Bale, maybe Lo Celso could have shot earlier. It's actually not a good shot in the end from Lo Celso.
Yeah, just tries to use the defender as a almost like a blocker to bend that ball round him. Just wide, but a couple of minutes to go, plus any added time, and
it's nervy, isn't it? It's nervy. It's nervy for both teams here. Here's Ben White in the centre circle for Brighton. Left to Bissouma. Up against Lo Celso, he finds a pass right to Webster, who's been an option all day. On towards Gross on the right wing. Reguilon holds him up. Into Bissouma. 88.5 minutes gone.
Again, getting the ball in wide areas and just turning out and coming back. You know, there's not a lot of time left. Cross the ball into the box. Make Tottenham defend.
Veltman forward. White picks it up. Back to Veltman, left hand side. Bernardo on the left sideline. In towards Ben White. Nutmeg through to Danny Welbeck in the penalty area. Just robbed off him by Toby Alderweireld, who clears it for a throw in.
Well, there's Ben White's ability there. He's nutmegged the Tottenham player from about 10 yards. Just overhit for Danny Welbeck, otherwise it's a chance.
Throw in by Bernardo, looked like a foul throw. Lo Celso blasts it against him, in towards Lallana, who isn't used to playing 90 minutes, Adam Lallana.
No, he looks
tired. A tired cross, yeah.
He looks tired now, I have to say.
Webster with the diagonal, up towards Byrne. Well away by Davis, brought down by Højbjerg. Carrying Tottenham upfield, approaching 90 minutes. There will be plenty added on, I'm sure. Webster's won it back, but he's run into touch. That's a Tottenham throw on the halfway line.
Yeah, well, Tottenham will try and take all the time they can now. Look, just leaving the ball. Gross running over there and getting it back and gesturing to Davis to hurry up, but he's not going to hurry up at all.
Upfield towards Lo Celso, we are told 6 minutes. 6 minutes added on at the end of the 90, so plenty of time for Brighton. They have it with their debutant goalkeeper Robert Sanchez. Byrne has stayed forward, the big man. Byrne is offside, and that's poor.
Yeah, that is poor.
Well, it's a free kick to Tottenham inside their own half. Offside is given. Dyer will take it again. They are taking their sweet time over this. And why not? Edging their way to victory. Tottenham Hotspur. Gareth Bale with what looks like being the winning goal. Harry Kane here, who scored the opener, holds it up well for Tottenham by the penalty area. Left to Reguilon, back to Kane again. He wants the foul, and this time he gets it. McAllister was too close for comfort, and Gareth Bale's fallen on the ball, and he will take his time over this.
It's a silly foul to give away. It's impatient for me. You know Harry Kane. Slightest touch.
Do you know him?
I don't. The slightest touch, he's going to go over. He's going to try and buy his team a free kick.
Yeah.
Don't touch him. Leave him alone.
Taken short. The free kick. Tottenham looking for the corner. Still a long way to go in this game, so I never think this is a particularly good tactic when you've got a minute to go. Sure, it's 4.5 minutes to go. It's quite a long time.
It is. It's just, well, for me, not desperation because they're winning, but it's just I think it's a poor way of seeing out a game.
It gives it the feel they're clinging on, Tottenham, and I don't know if they need to necessarily be clinging on in this game. Anyway, That's Jose Mourinho for you, he's doing it. And again, you have to say, his incredible winning career does make you believe in his methods. Throwing down the line to Harry Kane, looks to win a corner for his team, can't do so. Veltman picks it up in the area, he's been caught here by Lo Celso. Veltman just about gets away with that, Joel Veltman. Lo Celso caught him, but then he fouled him as he tried to get the now loose ball.
Lucky boy, and that's what I'm saying about Graham Potter teams and his players getting caught in silly areas. Well, he is very, very lucky to get away with that.
Sanchez clears long, Byrne flicks on, Welbeck holds it up, back to Bissouma, cross towards Lallana, who was offside, going to bounce through to Hugo Lloris, who gathers and holds that ball like a newborn baby.
Yeah, good line held by Tottenham there. That ball came in from the wrong angle. They need to get wide if they're going to cross it, not from central areas.
Well, when they go wide, they don't cross it.
And when they go wide, they don't cross it. Yeah, they got it all wrong.
Kane plays one behind the back of the Brighton defence. Webster sweeps up, good pressure by Reguilon, keeping Webster exactly where Tottenham want him. He's come off the Spurs man last for a Brighton throw.
Well, they're running out of time now, aren't they, the Seagulls? They're in their own corner there on that right hand side.
And they're starting to pump it up to Dan Burn, which maybe could have been done a little bit earlier. He flicks on to Lallana, who's lost it. Tottenham retake the ball down the right hand side. Here's Gareth Bale, fouled by Doherty. Looks to take on Ben White. White with a challenge. Bale happy to take it. Happy to get a throw for his side. 2 minutes remaining. It's almost like the end of a cup final here for Tottenham. It's right on edge, isn't it? It's a high wire game they're playing here. And, I mean, Brighton don't really look like scoring, but then West Ham didn't and Newcastle did.
No, they're taking so long over throw-ins, whatever you call them. I'm surprised that they've actually taken one that's not a foul throw. Had enough of them in the game.
Well, they have worked it into the corner, and Harry Kane, who wants to win another throw. It's gone Brighton's way again by the corner flag. Well, they've got to get it upfield and sharpish here, Brighton. Tottenham are Mourinhoing their way to victory here as Ben White wallops the tackle in on Harry Kane. They're frustrated now, Brighton.
Yeah,
they know they've played well here. Looks like they're going back to the south coast with nothing. Throw in by Doherty into Lo Celso. Challenge on Doherty by Bissouma has gone Brighton's way. That's their throw. Back to Veltman, who gives it a wallop upfield. Brought down nicely by Lallana, helped on towards Welbeck. Alderweireld's header. Brought down by Gareth Bale. The ball just isn't dropping Brighton's way. And Bale pokes it forward against Bissouma. Tottenham throw, which nobody wants to take.
Yeah, another throw in.
Well, I think there's another term for it, but it's really outhousing your way to win, isn't it, from Tottenham? But I'm sure Spurs fans and their manager won't care about that.
No, they won't. But it's dull, isn't it? It's dull to watch.
Tonight it has worked, it would seem, unless Brighton can make a chance here. They lump it up to Byrne, flicks it onto Welbeck, onto Lallana, left to Bernardo, now or never for Brighton. Bernardo back, oh, and the whistle's gone. The whistle's gone as they finally got the ball upfield. There is no Callum Wilson moment, there is no Lanzini moment today for Tottenham Hotspur to endure. It's Gareth Bale's day. It was Gareth Bale's moment, scoring his first Tottenham goal in 7 years and 166 days to give Tottenham all 3 points. And what a vital 3 points it is in the fledgling Premier League season. That moves Tottenham up to second in the table, 2 points behind the leaders Liverpool. And the questions about can they challenge will grow more and more loud as we head into next week's games. Analysis to follow in a few moments' time. We'll also reflect on the rest of the Premier League weekend. 8 games down in the top flight in England so far. It's finished here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Evenings with James Whale on Talk Radio. Keep connected with round-the-clock news, essential information and expert insight.
I think we've got to be very careful about the way this has all been going on.
Cutting through the confusion with everything you need to stay safe, informed and entertained.
Everyone's going on about, we should be tracking and testing, and I just don't know how that is going to happen.
Evenings with James Whale. Weeknights from 7 on Talk Radio.
In a world of 24/7 global sportscasting and instant news infotainment, one man bestrides the airwaves like a snow-capped Caledonian colossus.
Hello, I'm Jim White.
Jim White, anchorman.
Mid-morning news team, assemble.
Jim White and Natalie Sawyer, the #1 rated news source for breaking sports stories, big-name guests, and liquid showbiz charisma.
Great Odin's Raven. That's quite a transfer.
There's nothing burgundy about Jim White. Tomorrow morning from 10 on TalkSport.
In the spring of the year 2020 AD, a deadly enemy rages like a torrent of fire between the ends of empire.
My name is Maximus Talks Sportus Pandemicus, gladiator of the sports radio. Gird up your loins and battle the invasion of COVID-19, because what you do today will echo in eternity.
TalkSport Legion, assume Tortoise formation against COVID-19.
Show this virus no mercy by keeping a distance of at least 2 meters at all times. That's 6.75 Roman feet centurions. Together, Legion, TalkSportus can defeat it.
TalkSportus Maximus.
On my signal, unleash hand sanitizer.
Keep it on, stay informed, and give coronavirus the red cardus.
Are you not hand sanitized?
20 years of TalkSport.
Gentlemen, good evening.
There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Accrington Stanley 4, Titanium Plasmatronic Death Droids from the Future, 0.
Excess.
I wasn't getting up, I was just getting in.
Excitement.
Excuse me,
and extremely strong opinions.
I spend my life covering the big game at the big level.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of TalkSport.
For all the latest news, opinions and advice, listen to Talk Radio throughout the day and stay informed as events unfold.
We're now in a position to start implementing the next part of our plan.
Find out what's happening now and what may happen next, all day, every day.
If the government gets to grips with the plan, then surely we will be able to see light at the end of the tunnel.
Listen now on DAB Digital Radio, online, via the Talk Radio app, or ask your smart speaker to play Talk Radio.
You're listening to Premier League Live. The final game of a jam-packed Premier League Sunday comes from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where Spurs have gone second with victory over Brighton. There's a little delay here because the VAR was checking to see whether the infringement was on the line. On the line is in the area, and it has been turned from free kick to penalty. And it's a penalty for Tottenham Hotspur. 12 minutes gone. Harry Kane steps up from 12 yards to give Spurs the lead. And he does against the debutant goalkeeper Sanchez. Reguilon out of his body, tries to shoot, does shoot, on target. Stung the fingertips of Robert Sanchez in goal. Who is Son, who's won it from Webster. Runs towards the penalty area. Heung-min Son tries a shot left to right. Tried a curler in the top corner, but caught underneath it. Heung-min Son, and that will be a goal kick to Brighton. March crosses into Gross, onto Lamptey, and that's a goal. And that's a goal for Brighton. Lovely interplay on the edge from the Seagulls. The men are in the centre, turning forward, shooting a goal. Good effort, hits the post. Oh, and it's turned back towards his own goal by Veltman. Could have gone anywhere. It's just gone wide. Celso's delivery is good. It's broken to Harry Kane, who's hit the post. At the back post, close angle. Tried desperately to turn it into the back of the net. Couldn't do so. Right-footed cross towards Gareth Bale, and there's the goal. And there's Gareth Bale's first goal for Tottenham since 2013. Bale is back with a bang for Tottenham Hotspur. 7 years and change since Gareth Bale's last goal for Tottenham Hotspur. Hasn't looked too sharp since coming back to the club, but again, another stepping stone on his recovery from a long time out, and that will do his confidence the world of good. I'm Tom Rennie. Kevin Watson is with me, former Tottenham Hotspur midfielder, and it ends up being Gareth Bale's day.
Yeah, it certainly does. I mean, he still looks woefully short in terms of fitness. When he had a couple of chances when he came on to run at people, and that burst of acceleration that he was so famous for doesn't seem to be there at the moment. Whether it is going to be there at all remains to be seen, but he certainly knows where the goal is, doesn't he? And the ball from Reguilon was perfect, straight on his head, and it was a really well directed header beyond Sanchez in the Brighton goal.
All in all, though, Kev, it was not a good performance from Tottenham Hotspur.
No, it wasn't. I was quite disappointed with them. They had a good opening 10 minutes to the game when they scored, and I thought, they were really going to take the game to Brighton. But it just didn't materialise like that. I thought they were very disappointing, to say the least. Brighton played well. It's glaringly obvious that they had more of the ball. Brighton, I think 52% to Tottenham's 48. Their passing accuracy was much better. So it just shows you that all they're missing is the end product.
Tottenham up next. They've got Ludogorets in what's quite an important game in the Europa League now on Thursday, following that surprising loss to Royal Antwerp last week. Then West Bromwich Albion at the Hawthorns before international break. Then it's Manchester City here. And Kev, I mean, again, not great tonight, but it's another victory for them. They're second in the table. Mourinho's their manager. Kane, Son, Bale. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, well, as I say, the way this season started, you wouldn't put it past anyone winning the Premier League. I'm sure it will work itself out as the games go on. But yeah, I mean, the hallmark of a good team is winning football matches when you're not playing well. And Tottenham didn't play well. Let's make no bones about it. I thought Brighton looked the more composed in possession, looked the better team. But Jose finds a way, doesn't he? He always finds a way.
Next up for Brighton, could be a big game down the bottom between them and Burnley on Friday night football. Burnley have started the season awfully. 1 point from their opening 6 games. They are rock bottom right now. Brighton just 4 points clear of the relegation zone. 5 points, not one in 6 now, Brighton. So that could be a big game for both next week. This was the 4th game in the Premier League today. A packed day in the Premier League. We've been with you for 10 hours on Premier League Live. Congratulations if you've been with us for the whole day. What a day you would have enjoyed. Here's the best of the action.
Here's Ward-Prowse. Right-footed delivery and the header is in! Yannick Vestergaard. Long run out from Ward-Prowse and he's curled it over the wall and in! Gosh. The birthday boy doubles the lead for Southampton. Here is Ward-Prowse, right-footed again, and he's done it again. The same corner and the same outcome. Here is Danny Ings, shoots right-footed, and he finds the corner. That is a blockbuster from Danny Ings. Grealish dribbling into the box, scooping the crossing for Tyrone Mings, and Aston Villa have got one back. Watkins with the short run up and right-footed into the corner. It's an excellent penalty. Aston Villa 2, Southampton 4. The last chance surely for Villa. Grealish is shot, he scores! Squeezes it in at the far post. The goalkeeper McCarthy rooted to the spot.
That's back. Up to the football he goes. Olsen goes the wrong way and it goes just to the left of centre. Callum Wilson puts Newcastle in front. Fraser's got him behind Mina. He's into the box. Mina's got the wrong side. A good bit of work right across the face of goal. It's 2-0. Callum Wilson with his second goal. Ball in. Calvert-Lewin touches it past Darlow. It's 2-1.
Finds Berry further forward in the area. Was he caught by Pogba? That's got to be a penalty. It is. 20 minutes to go to give Arsenal the lead. Right footed scores. Aubameyang sends the hair the wrong way.
And that was victory for Arsenal at Old Trafford. They've won away at Manchester United for the first time since September 2006. A win away at a self-proclaimed Big Six side for the first time for them since January 2015 when they beat Manchester City. So a big result for Mikel Arteta. Also a big result the other way for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. 7 points from their 6 Premier League games this season, their lowest tally since under David Moyes in 2013. He was, of course, sacked before that season ended. They finished 7th that campaign. Manchester United, after 6 games, 15th in the table, just 6 clear of the relegation zone, and just a couple of points ahead of Brighton, who we watch tonight. Let's hear from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, also the Arsenal boss, Mikel Arteta.
You know, you're playing against a good team. We prepared well. They've prepared well. Don't think there was anything in the first half. They had maybe, we had 1. They had 2 half chances, but still David didn't have any saves to make. So not a classic game, I have to say. Probably a 0-0 written all over it, apart from that soft penalty we gave away.
Well, it's a huge win for us, and obviously we know our history here in the last 14 years that we haven't been able to win, and I just try to create a mindset and an energy around the team that they could really believe that if we were who we've been today, that we can beat any opponent. And I'm really happy with the result, but I'm extremely proud about the game that they played, the courage that they show, and the game that we played today against a really difficult opponent.
We don't look at the table now. Of course, we've got to have to get points on the board. And last season we didn't really start well enough either. And unfortunately, we're chasing our 3rd win. Last year we got it in the 10th match. We're hoping to get it on Saturday in our 7th.
I think overall in the second half, when we adjusted a few things as well, and we had to go a little bit deeper because I think we were lacking some legs, we were as well really effective. But I'm really proud of what we've done with the ball as well.
Never felt like we got going first half, which was the main thing. That's when they more or less laid the foundation of their win. I thought second half we only had 1 little bit of defending to do, and unfortunately we gave a soft penalty away.
I think it generates belief, and as well for them it's like, yes, if we do what we have to do, we can beat anybody. You know, I think we're very unlucky to lose against City at the Etihad. For sure we didn't deserve to lose against Leicester, and still we have to react, and we did it in midweek. We did it today again with 2 wins, so let's go for it.
Mikel Arteta there, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Kevin Watson is with me. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Manchester United, look, he's going nowhere, and we're still early in the season, and so, nobody will panic, but, I mean, this is a really, really poor start for Manchester United, considering the talent at their disposal.
Yeah, it really is, and you listen to that interview, and he says, don't worry about looking at the table at this moment in time. Well, I would, if I was him. They can't continue to be as inconsistent as they are. 1 minute you think, oh, okay, yeah, they're all right, they're not too bad, they'll be okay, and then the next minute, today I thought Arsenal bossed the game, and he said, De Gea didn't have a save to make in the first half, but it was one-way traffic from what I saw.
First game of the day, maybe the game of the day entertainment-wise. Aston Villa 3, Southampton 4. But the Saints were 4-0 up in that game there, in the weekend 4th in the Premier League table. Let's hear from their manager, Ralph Hasenhüttl, celebrating just over a year since they were thrashed by 9 by Leicester City. And also Dean Smith of Aston Villa, the Villains previously flying high this season. That's now back-to-back defeats.
First 60 minutes was nearly perfect, I must say. It was absolutely amazing what we played in this time. And after the 4-1 we struggled a little bit, because then it's mentally a problem when you know we are not so very often in the situations that we are 3 up or 4 up, so they stop doing what you can do best, and then you see that it goes very quick in the other direction. But the most important thing is not the goal difference. The most important thing is the 3 points, and today was definitely hard work.
Frustrated obviously with the first goal. Looks now like you can put a cross into the box, overhit your cross, hurdle a player, go down and get a free kick. It was never a free kick, and I was disappointed with that, because it's in a really dangerous area. But we've got to defend that free kick better than we did. The lad's got a free header and stuck it in the top corner, and then became a bitty game again. They played once through our lines where Theo Walcott gets a free kick, and then Ward-Prowse sticks one in the top corner, and then inexplicably Matt Cash handles it, and when he puts one in the other top corner, so disappointed just with the way we've conceded the goals, but you have to hold your hands up. They were top quality, set pieces.
Yeah, really were, from James Ward-Prowse, becoming the 9th player in Premier League history to score 2 direct free kicks in the same game, the first since Christian Eriksen did it for Tottenham back in 2015. So Kevin Watson, briefly, a rare feat from James Ward-Prowse, but he is really one of the best there is at taking those direct free kicks.
Yeah, he's a superb technician, takes a really good free kick, really good set piece taker, and you listen to Dean Smith there, and he had a gripe about every goal by the sounds of it, but if you score 3 goals at home, admittedly it was all in the last knock-ins really, but you shouldn't be losing games, and to concede 4, you'd be extremely disappointed.
Kevin, a pleasure. Thank you very much indeed for your company.
Thanks, mate.
That's Kevin Watson, former Tottenham and Reading midfielder, back with Premier League Live again, I'm sure. We are back with you on Monday Night Football tomorrow. 2 games, Fulham against West Bromwich Albion and Leeds United against Leicester City. We're live from 5 UK time. Full time.